Welcome to the Loving the Florida Lifestyle podcast with Shane Waterfront Wilson. And I have to tell you, we've been working on some sort of plan to pull out the magic for, well, I'll say years, but definitely months.
Yes, several months.
So before we even get started with our first episode, how you feeling? You doing all right?
Feel great, man. Busy.
Yeah.
Busy as can be. Kids are great. Wife's great. Family's great. Everything's good.
So good. The big thing that we're going to go through today is a 3-part podcast outline. We want to talk about your why, which we'll get into some fun with your history and the way that you've been born and raised into this, so to speak. Then we'll talk about how you uniquely do what you do. Then we're going to talk about what you do. And this outline follows Simon Sinek's Golden Circles, one of the highest watched TED Talks that talks through a specific way companies that are ultra successful, like Tesla and Apple, work from their why out. And that means that they tell you what they believe as part of their message. They don't just sell, like Apple, for example, they don't just sell computers, iPads, iPhones. They believe in the cross-section between creativity and humanity. And they make tools to make that happen. Most of today's work will be edited on Apple products. Part of today's filming is an iPhone.
Right. Which is cool.
So we're leveraging all this as we step into it all. So that's a big part of the journey. And I just love, one of the things I've always loved, and you and I have known each other 20 plus years now, is there's a strong belief in taking great care of people.
100%.
There's a strong belief in really helping people. 100%. As the ambition of this particular podcast, live the Florida dream, to really get into it and to look around corners they don't know. You and I have talked historically about boaters coming down from the Midwest and not realizing there's tide-based boating and wondering why when they park in front of Lani Kai and they come back out and they're both tilted, they're like, what just happened?
Yeah, I've seen it many times. Many times.
You're like, hey, listen, it's this different style of boating. Times saltwater's a little harsh on your motor. You want to make sure that you freshwater flush that thing. So there's going to be a lot to unpack today.
Right.
And I'm just so honored to be on the journey with you. Looking so forward to hearing some of these stories. We touched on these in our history, but to have them captured, that's where the legacy is left. And a big part of this is, in my mind, wisdom exchange, but also leaving a legacy. So your grandkid, your great-grandkids will be like, that's what it's all about? That's where we come from? That kind of thing?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty in today's tech, of course, is that everything we record has a legacy effect to it. Any thoughts, questions, insights with what I've shared so far?
I think it's great. I think you're right on. And like I said, you live it, you breathe it, you sleep it. I mean, this is what I do.
Oh, yeah.
Real estate, boating, family, incorporated into the business. And I make money doing what I love. And I think my grandpa told me years ago, he goes, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I said, Grandpa, what do you mean? He goes, just find something you love, a passion. I got it. And it's working. It's worked for 33 years. So
That's amazing.
I know I'm old.
Well, not that.
Well, yeah.
But what is amazing is the wisdom exchange from grandpa to you.
Yeah.
That's the part that with kids and parents and grandparents behind digital devices today, when you're sitting in a living room in the 2020s versus in the 1980s or 90s, you're looking at a device instead of exchanging wisdom with grandparents. If you're blessed to have grandparents that want to exchange wisdom with you. And that's just a huge part of what I was so honored with, similar to you. My grandparents were my biggest mentors. And they lived into care, compassion. The reason that I do what I do as we step into this part of our dialogue is because I feel like I am doing them a disservice, not living into the legacy that they instilled in us. Me, my sister, my cousins, these kind of things. Every day, they're in my mind. Grandma died in 2002, Grandpa in 2009. But their spirit lives within me because they lived care, compassion, got out and did stuff to help the world every day. Grandma would always say, we love every living thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, she wouldn't only say that. She was that.
She was that.
So that was an imprint on us. So as we set the stage here, what gives you the drive to wake up every day and live the Florida dream, but also help others live the Florida dream? What's the driving force in your being?
I love what I do. I've been in Florida my whole life. We've been on the water my whole life. I mean, I love that. I love real estate. My grandma, grandpa were realtor developers. My grandma was an interior designer. My dad's a contractor in the Florida Keys. My mom was a realtor. My uncle was a realtor. It's kind of inbred. So at night when I was young, they talk about real estate transactions and building houses, and I just sit there and listen, not really taking it in as far as like what they're doing to make a living to provide. But as I grew up, I think, that's interesting. I remember Grandpa told me that. I remember Grandma told me that. My mom and uncle talked about that. My dad talked about that. And then you kind of play it back in your head. You're like, that's what they meant. So not only do I love real estate, love helping people. One of my nicknames is the overhelper. And you say, what is that? Everybody that knows me said, Shane, you're the overhelper. You're always helping the older people, young people, the kids. You're always doing something to help somebody. So I can help somebody buy a waterfront home or buy real estate, whether it's investment, personal home, second home. And I get to take them out in the boat and show them the waterfront lifestyle. I'm like, we're going fishing today? I'm like, yeah, we're going fishing. We're going to catch fish. Then what? Well, we're going to catch the fish. I'll clean it. We'll take it to a restaurant. And they'll cook it for us. What? No. I go, yeah, we can do that. Or we're going lobstering. All right, so what do you do when you catch lobster? Well, we go down to catch lobster. We clean them. We cook them. You eat them. We're going to do that. So it's the whole thing, the thing that I love, which is the waterfront lifestyle. It just blends into my business, Shane Waterfront Wilson.
Yeah. I can't even imagine, based on what we've shared so far, the imprint that your entire family had on you, that this was just the way of life.
I don't know any different.
So the interesting part is the what, as we think about the what, is the real estate, sell and buy. Yeah. But the how is doing it with love, care, and compassion. Because I can only imagine that your family had that capacity and that would be just empowering to them.
100%.
And then the why is because we love to help. We just love to help people. Yeah. And so you had, like I had my grandparents. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you had an army of people that were just imprinting that on you and taking care of it.
Yeah.
What's one of your fondest memories of one of your relatives doing something magical, maybe with a client or with a project? Does anything come to mind? Did you think about that?
There was so much. Grandpa Murray was amazing. He was a giver. I mean, he cared about everybody. And even when things were tough in tough markets, he was always helping people, always giving. And I saw that. I learned that. And Grandma was too. And my dad and my uncle, my mom. There's so many times that I'd listen to him. Well, there's a lot of great stories, actually. I know when times were really, really bad, this is in the Keys, Key Largo, back in the 70s, there was a guy, I don't remember his name, I was just a small kid, and he had something wrong with his ears, like he had a hearing issue or something, and at the time, real estate was tough, new development was tough, and nobody really had any money back then, but he spent a bunch of money to get this guy hearing aids. I know it sounds crazy, I don't know why it sticks out in my mind, but he paid for this guy to have hearing aids put in, and he could actually hear for the first time. And this is, probably late 70s, early 80s. That kind of sticks out. I remember all the help my Grandpa Murray gave to other people to help them prosper. Grandpa helped a guy named Mike, I won't say his last name, become a developer up north. And all the knowledge my grandpa had from developing over the years gave that information to Mike, and he became super successful, like multi-gazillionaire. These are stories. My dad, my grandpa bet my dad, you can't get your contractor's license. This is in the Keys. Dad goes, yeah, I'll get it, and I will. He got his contractor's license. They built homes from Ocean Reef down to Marathon for years and years and years. They were partners, my grandpa and my dad. My mom was a realtor. Grandma was a realtor. Grandpa was a realtor. So it's kind of in our blood. But these are stories that I remember. And then I remember when my family's friends would come down to the Keys, they'd say, Shane, we want snapper tonight, a grouper, or stone crab, or lobster. Go out and catch it. We'll give you $20. I'm like, $20? Golly, that's $3 in my gas tank, and I can buy some Reese's, some Coca-Cola. Oh, that'll be awesome. So me and my buddy TJ, or the Johnson boys, or Derek, or whoever it may be, would go out. We'd get lobster, we'd get stone crab, we'd get grouper, whatever they wanted, bring it home. We'd get $20. Like, this was a big deal. Yep. Then we had money to put gas in the boat. Back then it was 70 cents a gallon, I think, and that was a big deal. Got our Reese's peanut butter cups. But then we turned it into a business. So all of my friends would come with me, and I had a Boston Whaler, would come with me, and we'd take orders from all of our parents' friends. What do you want this weekend? What kind of food do you want? Do you want lobster? Do you want stone crab? Do you want fish? And back then, it was plentiful. It was easy. What else did we do? It's just a different lifestyle. But seeing where I was raised in the Florida Keys, it took a village to raise the kids. So if you did something not good, it got home to Dad somehow. I don't know how. He's like, Shane, where were you in the boat today? Well, I was out on Oceanside. In the Gulf Stream? No, Dad. Shane, so-and-so saw you in the Gulf Stream in your 17-foot Mako. What did I tell you about that? What if your engine breaks? You'll float away and they'll never find you. It took a village to raise all of us, and most of my friends from the Keys have the drive that's been instilled in them from the village raising us in the Keys, a very small community.
Yeah.
And moving to Fort Myers 33 years ago, it's the same thing. It's a small, big community. Now, we've grown a bunch now, but 96% of our business is referral. They know who Shane is. They know my wife. They know my kids. It's a big, huge family. It's a little town in a big town, if you will.
The biggest thing that I want to pull out of this is, well, there's two parts. One is, it's amazing to me. They're like, go out and get dinner, literally. And you guys get in the boat and you look at it as a mission and do it. And then down the road, it sounds like you build a business around it.
We did.
And I remember in the, well, let's say the late 70s for me, $20 was like today getting handed $1,000.
Yeah.
And you're like, money. Oh, I'm rich. What just happened? I could get my soda. Yeah. I could get my candy. Yeah. I can fill up my car or boat.
Yeah, fill up the boat back then. Yeah. Yeah.
The other part is this, and I want to make sure we don't overlook this, this act of referrals. Whenever I've created a business, and I've created 7 of them over the last, since 1985, I had my woodcraft business.
Right.
It was, every one of the businesses grew organically through referrals because a couple of principles I teach is that we have such great relationships plus great deliverables. So in the context for real estate, it's like you're going to take care of things. You're going to dot the I's, cross the T's, help people look around corners they don't see. We're going to get you off the dock on the back of your house in my boat, just so you can experience what that actually feels like for a lot of people that move from the Midwest down, me included, back in 2000. It was like, what does it actually feel like to go out, step on your boat, and then just go out to Cabbage Key or these islands and have lunch? And it was like the dream to me to do that. And then when I did it, it was like, that was insanely awesome. We went to this remote island and had lunch and so on. So the part that I really love is that you go to great depths to assure people feel the life before they might commit to the life. And that if they are boaters or fishers, they have a drive to boat, a drive to fish, a drive to fly even down here. You got their bases covered, and you can help them because you have such a great knowledge of the Keys and Southwest Florida. Say, here's the kind of lifestyle you'll feel in Town and River, for example, or in McGregor Isles. Or here's the kind of lifestyle you feel down in the Keys. And there's specific different Keys and specific different lifestyle feelings and so on. And you've got this huge depth of knowledge, plus an amazing personality. I'll celebrate you, man. So
you.
good.
Right.
Because you just wear it on your shoulder. Like you just wear the passion, the love, the care, taking care of people, and doing whatever it takes. Something that you and I have talked a lot about, and you and I have lived, is like, whatever it takes, we're on it.
100%.
And that's a big part of it. So outside of what you've shared so far, are there any specific memories with your parents, your grandparents, around this idea of that's how you actually refer people, that's how you actually run a business? Is there any more to unpack from the memories of how to run an actual business from your parents, your grandparents?
Yeah. Grandpa always said, take care of people better than you want to be taking care of yourself. And I know it's so cliche. Everybody always says it. It's true. And it's interesting. And you remember this. You did my website over 25 years ago. You're like, Shane, you need to do this, this, and this. We'll get you out there. I have some of my bestest friends today from that website that were looking for property in Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do the boating thing. And back then we did the boating guide.
Yep.
I know you remember it like yesterday. So do I. Talking about going to Cabbage Key or Picnic Island or fishing offshore or Cayo Costa or wherever, somewhere on the boat, some adventure. And we used to post that every week. And one of my best friends today is Craig. I won't say his last name because I don't want to get bombarded. But he contacted me. He's from Chicago. He goes, Shane, he goes, you're this Waterfront dude. I go, yeah. And at first I thought it was a buddy pranking me. And, like, who is this guy? He goes, look, man. He goes, you're living my lifestyle. I go, what do you mean? I go, but you're in Chicago. He goes, I want to live your lifestyle. I've dreamt about being in Florida, buying a home on the water, being in the boat, taking my wife and children out in the boat, doing the things you do. He goes, I watch your podcast. It wasn't called a podcast then. It was a boating guide.
Yeah.
Every week. When I'm in Chicago, when we get 10 inches of snow, I'm thinking about being down there. I'm envisioning. I'm dreaming about this. I'm like, wow. That's like, wow. Fast forward, sold him a condo, sold him a lot, helped him build a house, sold that house, sold him another lot. He built another house, sold him another property. But during that time, we just sat down for lunch the other day. I think he referred 16 people to me over all these years. That's we met 16 years ago. That's a big deal. Now, when Craig has family and friends that come down, if they're looking to buy or want to go boating, they'll call, hey, Shane, these people want to look at some houses. I'll go show them property. They're good friends of his, therefore they're friends of mine. He takes them out in the boat. He takes them to the places I took them 16 years ago or 15 years ago, to the beach. I taught him how to back up to the beach, put the stern anchor out, unload all your stuff on the beach, and have a barbecue, a cookout. Taught him how to run his boat, dock his boat. Oh, that's another thing I do. When people come here, they don't know what kind of boat to get. Yes. Shane, what should I get? What's your application? Well, I have 5 kids. What time you had 4? I go, you need a bigger boat. Flats boat's not going to work. So helped him buy his first boat, sold that, helped him buy a second boat. He sold that. Now he's got his third boat, which he loves. Then he wanted to repower the boat. And I said, well, what do you want? What's your application? I want to go fast. I go, So I called my friend at offshore over here, and I said, hey, I got a good friend of mine. He wants to change out his motors for bigger motors. He wants to go fast. He did it. So that's one example, and I've got another great friend who's kind of like my adopted dad, Frank. This is 14 years ago. He called and he goes, hey, and this is Frank. I'm not going to say his last name. He goes, I want to come to Florida. We've been watching you online, your waterfront lifestyle. I'm from New Mexico. Now, we want to do what you're doing. We want to go fishing. We want to go lobstering. We want to go to places by boat. I said, okay. I thought it was a prank again, and he called the next day. Shane, this is Frank. You didn't send me my properties. I'm like, this guy's for real. I'm like, holy cow. So I called him back. Long story short, he's become one of my closest mentors, kind of like a dad to me. He's just a great guy. His wife, Dottie, is just amazing. His kids are amazing. And we have this relationship. So whenever they come down, we go out on the boat. We've been everywhere together. Tortugas, Key West, Keys. He also helped introduce me to flying. He's been flying for 60 years. So it's just that website you built for me 25-something years ago. I have all these amazing relationships, and majority of our clients become our friends. Yeah. It's just the relationship. They become family. And when they become family, their family becomes our family, if that makes any sense. But it works. I know some brokers like to do the numbers game. They'll go out and call, 100 people a week or 1,000 people a month, just trying to get that one lead. It's not me, man. I want the relationship. I care. You can call me at 9 o'clock at night. You can call me 6 in the morning. I don't sleep much. I'm there for you. If you need something, I'll send you to the right person, or I'll get you the information you want. So it's a caring-based business. We're not in the real estate business. We're in the people business. Yeah. Take care of the people. The money follows. I see so many realtors get in the business where, I want to make all this money. Wrong mindset. You're going to fail. A majority of them are out of the business in a year. They don't care about the people. They see the dollars. You can't do that in this business. Take care of the people. The money will follow. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. One big thing that I teach is we're a customer relationship business or customer relation business that happens to do X. X could be real estate. It could be something else. So it's the relational part first. And then when we unpack some of this is the amazing part. You're living into gifts that you have that happen to be parallel to what works in business. And the other aspect, this idea of calling you at 6, calling you at 9, it's guidance outside of real estate. It's guidance on lifestyle. It was 100%. Really progressive to build what was a blog back in 20 years ago, but to just demonstrate, here's some things you can do with a couple photos. That's the essence of what that was.
That's right.
And people were like, I want that. That guy's cool. Because you had in those posts your personality, plus the adventure, plus this love of life and love of nature. So let's go back just a little bit. Where do you think that was born from? Your love of life and your love of nature? Was that in the family ethos or the family fabric? Or is it just part of who you are? Or where does that emanate from in your world?
I think it's just innate. It's inside of me. I mean, it's my family too, but I think it's just inside.
Yeah.
Being raised as a kid, I remember loving animals and catching little lizards and be careful not to break their tail off. And it's just innate. I don't know what it is. Like I said, everybody says, Shane, you're the overhelper. Anybody that knows me, call me the overhelper because I just like helping people. It makes me feel good. When I see somebody else happy, smiling, I'm happy smiling inside. If they're upset, something's bothering them, I got to come up with a solution. I know a lot of people want to fix things. I'm the overfixer, man. I want to help anybody I can. So it's just that with real estate, being genuine and honest, you transmit this. People can read it. And then again, getting back to real estate, if somebody's not in real estate because they don't care, a buyer and seller picks up on it. People aren't dumb. Yeah. They can sense it if you really care or if you just want that check. And I think that differentiates myself. You know, some people say, well, how much money are you going to make this year? I don't know. Well, don't you go over your budget? Well, yeah, kind of. I like to see what I spend and what I make, but I know if I take care of everybody that calls me, the money will be there. It just will. And I know some people say, oh, you're crazy, Shane. You need to, track this income and track those expenditures. I got it in my head. But if you just help people and be honest and genuine, and if that deal's not right for them, don't do it. Yeah. If it's the wrong time to put your home on the market, don't do it. In 2005, when the market was crazy, I had a lot of people say, Shane, should I buy? And I'm like, look, guys, I got a weird feeling here, man. I mean, I got a weird feeling. And then remember, it peaked out 06, 07, 08.
Then kapoosh.
And then people said, well, Shane, I need to sell now. I'm like, yeah, you've got foreclosures and short sales. If you can hang out, just have the staying power to wait. I probably wouldn't sell now because remember, everything went to the bottom until about 11 or 12 and it started to come back.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. But back to your question, I think it's just something you have inside. Either you care about people or you don't. In life, you have givers and takers. I'm definitely a giver. And then you have takers. All they want is take. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. The biggest part, too, is this nature versus nurture. Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like you were born with this, and then you were nurtured to amplify it.
100%.
Like it was part of you to be the explorer and the nature guy and get out and do 100%. Stuff even as a kid. And then the parents, grandparents nurtured it, amplified it, rewarded you for it.
100%.
And that's a big piece. What you shared earlier too, this is something I teach in my work, is that we do need to know what our break even is. We do need to have a dream income, but then we can put that over here and live into the behaviors. And I like to think of it living purposefully, helping others. Big part of purpose for me is helping others improve the quality of their life. You're very parallel with that. Live passionately while we do it. Live positively, bring the joy while we do it, and live productively, such that we're not sitting back going, the world's going to manifest, it's going to drop the stuff in my lap. No, we're actually doing things.
You're doing things to create it, putting it out to the universe. Yeah.
Those first 4 P's, purpose, passion, positivity, productivity, land on profitability, presuming you have the right conversations towards the right, we'll call it what, which is a real estate transaction or something like that. So I love the fact that is so parallel to that 5 P's that I always talk through and teach, in that we're just living our life. And we're looking for it, and we feel it, and we know when the opportunity is there to get the conversation started. Hey, you want to live the Florida lifestyle? Well, here's how that can look. Do you want to go out and see it? You want to feel it? You want to be it? Let's go do that. See if this is even a good fit for you. Maybe you have this dream, and you get on the boat, and you see it, and you're like, I hate this. Okay, right. Then you didn't have to invest. But if you do like it, we'll go buy a boat, and we'll go into different canals and look at potential homes for you. One of my favorite things I've done is at night when it's dusk is to go down canals and just see what the lifestyle is like. Like, these people are on their lanai.
Yeah.
They're out having a little fire. They're doing this. They're doing that. That was like so much fun. And what a great view of sunset orientation, that kind of thing. So that's a big part of it. The big part that I love from what you shared is this idea that you really do sensorially create this vision for people. And we speak of the senses, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it sounds like. And when you get into the sensory of it, that lands on the feelings, and people are like, I want to feel more of that. And you got the conduit and the history 100%. To do it. So there's one little thing that I want to pull out here. Knowing that your mom was in real estate, was there something she did that took you down the real estate path instead of the developer path? Was there any things that she instilled in you where you're like, that's what I want to do? Or did it just kind of land on you? Or how did you transition into?
Yeah. My dad was a contractor. He's a people person, but not like me.
Yeah.
My mom was a people person. Grandpa Murray was more of a developer builder, very straightforward. Grandma was more people person. I think I'm just built with this innate, like I said earlier, innate feeling towards people. I can read people. And it's interesting because when my kids were little, Wade and Sierra, they're 20 8 and 27 now. Or Wade will be 27. And I have 3 grandkids and 1 on the way. But getting back to my kids, I know it's crazy.
And by the way, just for everybody listening, you are one of the most inspirational dads and grandads.
Oh,
you and I have had this conversation many times over the years.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think it's innate in you for reading people. I can read people like a book. Within the first 30 seconds, I know exactly if it's going to work, not going to work. And the kids were the same way. Like Wade, when he's little, he'd point somebody out. Dad, see that guy? I'm like, yeah. He goes, he'd say something about him. I'm like, Wade is 4 years old. How does he know that? Same with Sierra. Daddy, see that? See those people over there? I'm like, yeah. And she'll say something, and I'll look. I'm like, how does my little 5-year-old know that? To this day, they still have that innate inner feeling. Sierra can read people like a book. My son Wade can read people like a book. Wade's in the diesel industry. He owns his own business. He's super successful because he has the ability to fix anything, innate ability to fix anything, but also has the people skills. Yep. Sierra is a people person. She loves people. Blah, 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 blah. But she's genuine. And if somebody wants to, she owns her own hair salon. Oh, wow. Somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to do this. She goes, yeah, that may not look so good, but maybe try this. And ultimately, they're completely satisfied when they're done. But getting back to your question, I just love people. In development, you're dealing with the contractors, which is fine. You're building stuff, which is fine, which I can do any of that stuff. I don't have my license, but I've been around it my whole life. But in real estate, you deal with people's emotions. You get to help people. You see the joy. I put families in the boat with their kids. They're like, Mom, Dad, we're going out in the boat. What are we doing? I said, we're going to go fishing today. Are we going to catch fish? I said, yeah, I call it catching, not fishing, because when I go, I catch. I mean, the kids die. We're out doing some footage yesterday. It was really, really neat. And I had the videographer with me, and I said, do you see that boat up there? He goes, yeah. I go, they're sightseeing for dolphin, not the fish dolphin, but the mammal. Yeah. I go, you want to see something cool? He goes, yeah. I go, I'm going to call them in. They're going to jump in the boat. He goes, how are you going to do that? I go, just watch. So I get up to it, and of course, the big tour boats, they back up, and you slow down. You kind of come up on a half a plane, meaning you're not up on plane half. It makes a big wake. Wouldn't you know, we have 5, 6 dolphin, and I'll give you the footage. We can somehow incorporate it.
Oh, we'll put it right here.
Jumping behind the boat, and then the captain on the tour boat speeded up. So I'm doing maybe 8, 9 knots, and he's doing 8 or 9 knots. So there's probably 30, 40 people on the boat videotaping, watching the show, and the captain's like, dude, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So they're digging it. We're providing this joy, this experience that these tourists on this tour boat have never seen. And I can see their faces, and little kids are like, oh my God. And you can see them, and they're so excited. So meanwhile, they're taking videos and photos of the dolphin jumping. Meanwhile, I'm in the boat with my logo down the side, Waterfront. So maybe like the W back here for the Waterfront, maybe that one person will say, yeah, we saw this big blue boat had a W, and the guy said, "Hey, it's a Waterfront, dude. Maybe they want to come to Florida and experience what we did yesterday." It was so cool. I'm going to get you the footage. And
we'll make sure we put it right in this beautiful video.
It was so cool. So years ago, going back to my buddy Craig that I sold the property to, he said, Carolyn's not 100% sold on buying in Florida. He goes, you got to do something cool. I go, how about dolphins, manatees? She loves dolphins. So I know the spot where the dolphin always hang out, because when I fish there, they're always there. So I pull up to the spot, and I stop. I start banging the side of the boat. Sometimes they'll come, sometimes they won't. Wouldn't you know, this dolphin comes right up to the boat, looks at us. Carolyn goes, oh my God, it's a dolphin. I'm like, yeah. I said, you want to see it play behind the boat? Watch this. She goes, you're not going to do that. I go, watch this. And they're playing. So 9 times out of 10, when you get the boat up half a plane, you're not fully planed off making a big wake, he's jumping. Carolyn was in awe. Carolyn looks at me. I'm sorry, Craig looks at me. Thumbs up behind Carolyn. Good job. We're buying here. So Carolyn was in awe. I mean, it was the coolest thing. She's so happy. And to this day, like I said, he's referred all those people to me. I've helped him buy and sell several property. We're best of friends. We've been to the Bahamas in their boat. We've been to the Tortugas. We've been to Key West. Everywhere by boat. And now he teaches his friends and his family how to fish, where to fish, what kind of bait to use, what kind of tackle to use. That's knowledge shared with me from being a little boy growing up in the Keys, and I passed it on. It's just cool to see him passing it on. So I guess getting back to your question, I'm a people person. I can build anything, but it's not fun. Selling real estate, helping people is fun. It's a blast. It's not always easy, because sometimes it's stressful with inspections or whatever
just
may
the way
come
thing
up.
Comes up.
It is. And I think, too, selling real estate so long, you get that sixth sense. It's like an innate sense. If something's going to go wonky with the transaction before it goes wonky. You're like, So my little spidey senses start tingling. So I'll make the call to the lender or the appraiser or whatever it is and say, something's off. Inevitably, something will be off. We'll fix it. And if it can't be fixed, we contact the buyer and say, hey, look, there's a structural issue. What do you want to do? Do you want out? Well, I don't know. We love the house. I said, yeah, but do you want out? They have an option. Not me being dishonest saying, make the deal work even though it's not good for them and it's going to harm them later. Yep. Oh, heck no. I would never in a million years. So anyway, I love what I do. It's fun, man.
I think there's a really important distinction here that the contracting business and people who don't know the business, it is a lot of, it's a lot less of that immediate gratification like you get in the real estate side, plus the fact that you're just drawn to it. There's one thing I want to unpack and uncover here. One of the things you've shared in our work is never making a bad deal, and you just demonstrated that. And that comes back to the belief, trait, quality, value of honesty. Where do you believe that came from, this just drive to be honest, to be authentic, to be so transparent that it stands tall, strong, and forward for you? Is that something that came through the family, or how did that emanate?
I think it's innate. It's in my DNA. I could never screw anybody. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could never hurt anybody intentionally. We all make mistakes, and when I do, I make them right. But between my family, seeing how honest my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my dad, my uncle, all my family, they're just so totally honest. They want the best for the people. I want the best. It goes back to Shane being the over-helper. I just want to tell the truth and be honest with people. So if the deal's not right, don't do it. And a good thing you brought up a point, I just thought about this too, is when we're looking at property, I'll see things that most people won't, because coming from a contractor background, I'm not licensed, but I've been around it my whole life. I built homes with my grandma, my grandpa, my dad in the Keys. Construction is way different when they build in the Keys versus in Southwest Florida. It just is. We need to be up to basically Dade County hurricane code when you're in the Keys. Here, they're not as stringent. They're stringent, but not as much. And I'll see something maybe on the back corner of a house. I'll see these wonky cracks that kind of go up the side of the house, and the cracks get bigger and bigger and bigger. Buyer never saw it. Listing agent never saw it. And I look and I'm like, that could be a problem. So I'll point it out to the buyer to prevent any stress in the future. Once they do a home inspection, it's going to be an issue. Or inside the house, I'll see, I can't think of anything offhand, but I'm looking for the things as a contractor would, as my dad, my grandfather would, that we can catch ahead of time. Yeah. And if it looks like it's going to be a major headache, I'll say, guys, this isn't the home. Why not? We love the view. Look at the water. I said, yeah, but we got problems here. But I'm able to see that where maybe a lot of realtors, they don't see it because they haven't built homes from the ground up. I built homes from dirt to concrete slab to concrete block to tie beam from start to finish. Yeah. I've remodeled a ton of homes. I've done a ton of flips. I know what to look for, whereas maybe some realtors don't know. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, I don't know. But if there's an issue I see or I feel there is, I'm going to tell my buyer. Or if I go on a listing appointment, like, we got a problem here. Let's get it resolved and fixed before you put the home on the market, because that's going to affect your sale. Yeah. They may not want to hear it, but it's the truth.
Yep.
Always tell the truth.
The part that I love is the depth and the depth in the different topical areas of real estate that you have with the background. And then beyond that, the actual care. This is a true demonstration of purpose over profit. It's like, yeah, this is a huge deal and I can make a ton of money on this property, but this isn't the right property. And so we're going to the purpose side of it to make sure that we're getting the right thing. One thing that you and I have talked about a little bit in our history, but has been a huge issue down here, and that may be one of those things that you spot, is like black mold. And sometimes it's not obvious, and it can happen fast just because of the way that, especially during summer, the humidity and everything is. And to have somebody who's got that. There's so many people that I know who have mold toxicity, and it's really affected, like they have long-term illness from it. And this piece to that puzzle is something you're scouting for somebody just as part of your spidey senses.
That's true.
Cool. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So you seem to live life with this big positive energy, and we've talked about where this inspiration comes from, nature versus nurture. Was there anything early on in life, anybody even, who lived with that energy and you're like, I want to be like that? Grandpa, grandma, dad, mom, friends, or is it just you? Just who you've been?
I think it's just me. I've always been like that, high energy. I never, ever have slept much. I get up in the morning, I'm ready to go full throttle, whether it's 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, 6 o'clock, and maybe I'm a freak. I don't know, but it's just, I don't require a lot of sleep. I have high energy. I get up full throttle. I know a lot of people get up and they're kind of their coffee and just kind of wake up. My eyes open, boom, my brain's going. I'll tell you something interesting. Obviously, I have ADD. If anybody can tell out there, I'm trying hard to sit still. It's really hard for me. I got kicked out of 4 preschools when I was little, way hyper, always bad. And the schools wanted to put me on medication. My mom and grandparents, because my dad, well, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, wanted to put me on medication. They said, absolutely not. So now that I recognize I have ADD, school is challenging for me unless I find something I really love. But now I'm able to juggle a gazillion things. My wife always says, Shane, how do you remember that? Shane, how do you do that? And I'll be, hold on, we're switching gears. And I'll point over here. We need to take care of that. And I'll say, hold on, I need to call so-and-so. And she's like, what are you doing? Just stop. I go, I can't. It doesn't.
That's the way it works.
That's how it works. And the funny thing is, Wade, my son, struggled in school. Sierra was straight A student when she applies herself. Wade had the same issue, and they were going to hold him back. And I had a talk with Wade when he was, 4th grade. I said, Wade, they're going to hold you back. Daddy, what does that mean? I go, you're not going to graduate with your friends and go to 5th grade. You're going to stay in 4th. I said, you've got to focus more. And we had these 2 amazing mentors, Dale and Miss Christie, they're amazing people. They went to the school 4 and 5 days a week, would read with Wade, would practice with Wade. No fee. This is what they do. They just help. That was huge in Wade's life. And the teachers told me, Wade needs to be on medication. I said, there is no way in hell you're putting my kid on medication. Not going to happen. Yeah. And we didn't. So fast forward, he graduates, went to Caterpillar Diesel School. Wade is killing it now, but he's ADD. He's running his business, running this, doing this. I mean, it blows me away. And my daughter too, she's able to coordinate. I think it's just that ADD in our genetics that allows us to be caring. Wade gets upset when things don't go right. Sierra, something doesn't go right, she gets upset. When things don't go right, I get upset. It's just, I think it's in our DNA. So to answer your question, I think it's just innate in us, or maybe a previous life. I don't know. I just know that you got to help people. You got to do the right thing. Yeah. And the great thing is my wife, Ann, who I'm married to now, is the same way. She's built the same way. She could never do anybody wrong. She could never.
She's amazing.
She's awesome. She's like,
you're so blessed.
I am blessed.
I'm blessed too.
You're blessed too. 100%. We are blessed. So I guess to answer your question, it just comes from inside to please people. I'm a people pleaser. I want to help and always do the right thing. Yeah. And be the overhelper. And it just makes me feel good inside. I feel complete. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah. The big thing is that ADD, ADHD, that's a superpower if it's leveraged properly for entrepreneurs.
I learned to leverage it.
And you get masterful with it. And then stepping into that superpower and realizing this is how the information comes in. This is how it's going to be spit out. And if you have somebody that's supportive on your side, they're like, okay, I'm capturing it as it comes in. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's make it rock.
Like, do it. You know, it's funny, not to switch gears, but it's funny. So we opened the office in the Keys about 8 years ago, and I was making the drive. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, drive down, work all day, drive back to Fort Myers. So that's 4 hours, 8 hours on the road, 7 hours, whatever it is. After 6 months of that, I went home. I said, Ann, because Ann and I are really tight, my wife. I go, I'm going to get my pilot's license. She goes, okay. Not like, oh my God, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, wow, that was easy. So 6 months through training, I said, Ann, we're buying an airplane. She goes, okay. Never backlash. She believes in me 110%. So bought an airplane. It's an older airplane, totally safe though. You have to have, annuals every year, totally safe. And instead of driving 4 hours to the Keys now, I just fly there in 55 minutes.
That's amazing.
And after application, buying the plane for application, like getting to and from so I could help more people, I love flying. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it was a thing. Yeah. I didn't know I'd love flying. It's a blast. I fly everywhere now. If I fly from Fort Myers to show property in Key West, I'm there in 60 minutes. If I drive from Islamorada to Key West to show property, 2 hours minimum because of traffic. If I'm in Islamorada and I got to go to Key West, I fly. It's like 32 minutes I'm there. If that, not even that, probably 28 minutes instead of driving. If I have to show property in Islamorada and I'm in Fort Myers, 55 minutes I'm in Tavernier. Show property, fly right back. It's like hopping in a car. A lot of people don't get it. They're like, it's like a big deal. No, I get in the airplane, do a pre-flight, make sure I got gas, check the weather. I'm off. Yep. I turn and fly right back. It's easy. Now it's a blast. We fly to the Bahamas. We fly to North Florida, North Carolina. We fly everywhere. Yeah. Huge time saver. Yep. Huge.
I love that for many reasons. One of the reasons, and this is something that's just a natural emanation of you, is you posting videos of your flight. This morning, I was flying. Here's how it looks from the sky today. I was boating. Here's how it looks. And we went scuba diving or we went snorkeling. Here's how it looks. Yeah. I'm taking you with me. So there's this aspect of purpose where you want to inspire and share with others what's possible to get out, to not see it on a video, but to go and experience it in life. And that's a huge part of the drive, is to really do the work, take the action, share the action. I always teach this thing called the trifecta of happiness, and it's 3 parts. Learn something new, create from what you've learned, share it with others. Learn something new, create from what you've learned, share it with others. And you learned flying, creating stuff from it, sharing it with others. The first time that I saw some of your videos when you just got your license, you're doing solo, I'm like, oh, because I have this strong drive connection. My grandpa and I used to have lunch together at the small airports around where I lived in Michigan. Yeah. And we'd spot planes. So Char, that's a Cessna, and that's a plane that my friend had. And then we went to fly-ins, and I got my first ride. I won it in the raffle with the waffle breakfast.
That's awesome.
And my grandpa's like, son, you're going up. Let's go. And it was a 4-seater. We flew over our house at 3,000 feet. And I'm like,
wow.
And the pilot did one of those moves where I was able to really look down.
Yeah, bank.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So there's this big part of this drive to share, to inspire, to help others. And it comes back to those P's we talked about: purpose, passion, positivity, productivity. And really aiming on the purpose and productivity part. We're going to capture great footage. We're going to take the time to throw it in the tools that we use, Filmora or whatever, and we're going to share it. We're going to let people experience this life. And it's just this constant piece. I love that so much.
That makes me happy. I like when other people call and like, dude, that was so cool. You caught this fish or speared that fish or caught that lobster. We want to do it. I'm like, well, then let's go do it. Really? Yeah, let's go do it. I mean, I'll take customers flying from here down at Alamrada to show property. They think it's the coolest thing. So normally I'm on a mission. I'll take off and I'll be at 6,500 feet, actually 5,500 feet heading south just to get there. But when I have customers with me, I'll fly at 1,000 feet along the coast. We'll see sharks, manatee, dolphin, pods of bait, so much cool stuff. And going over like Cape Sable, Shark River, over the Florida Bay, coming into the Florida Keys at 1,000 feet. They're like, wow, it's just cool to share it with them.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
That's the piece, and I just love it because we've spent a lot of time so far in our work today talking through the why, the beliefs, the values that were innate, nature, and nurtured, and really living the Florida lifestyle. But I would even say, as your title of your podcast, loving the Florida lifestyle through and through. Loving it for me, loving it for my family, loving it for friends, and loving it for people who just want that ambition. Let's get down there, let's get it going, and really rock it out. Anything else you want to share about the installation or the thoughts about how you came to love the Florida lifestyle from the imprint from your grandparents, your dad, your mom, anything else? Anything else come to light there?
Being raised on Key Biscayne until I was about 4 years old, moved to Key Largo when I was 4.5, 5 years old. Got my first rowboat when I think I was 7. And my dad was like, you keep rowing that boat, build up your muscles. Yeah. We'll buy you another boat with an outboard motor. I'm like, oh, outboard motor. I know, right? Exactly. I'm an outboard motor. I go, Dad, what do I have to do? He goes, well, get out there and row the boat. A rowboat had these little square glass bottoms. So as you're rowing, you can see the bottom and see the fish swimming around.
Oh, that's so cool.
Way cool. Every day after school, I'm driven, man. ADD driven. When I have a goal, it's like nothing else matters. Every day after school, I'd row, and I would row, and I would row, and I would row every single day for months, probably 6 months. And one day I said, Dad, I'm ready. He goes, ready for what? I go, ready for the boat with a motor. He goes, you can't pull start to 6 horsepower. Yes, I can. Son, I don't think so. Well, when you're rowing and you're pull starting. So he bought me a 6 horsepower Evinrude, a little white and yellow boat, and had the old cable steering on it. And he put it in the water. And I remember him teaching me about choking the motor, pumping the ball. Second pull cranked up. He looked at me. I looked at myself. I'm like, holy crapola, I did it. And from that point, I had gas-powered boats, man. And I had a boundary area to stay within a certain boundary in Key Largo. We lived in Buttonwood Bay. I could go down, I forget the house here, and to that house here, and out to the intercoastal waterway. So if I did break down, I'd be in that geographic area. And that boat took me to, I took care of it, flushed the motor, kept it nice and clean to a Boston Whaler with a 40, then a 17 Mako, and then a Reaction, and so on and so forth, a bunch of boats. But that is kind of what inspired the Waterfront thing, because when I had a motor now, I could go out fishing. I'm 9 years old on my little power boat. Me and my buddies, I remember Scott and Ricky would go with me. My 2 brothers, Bill and David, would go with me, and they live in Miami now. And all my buddies would go with me. And the parents are like, you sure you should let those kids go out? They're only like 8 or 9. Yeah, they're within their boundaries, which I went outside the boundaries. Don't tell Dad. But, well, I want to catch fish. There's no fish there, man. We had to go a little further out to catch the lobster, catch the fish, catch stone crab. I mean, we had the best life growing up. And then when people say, you were racing the Keys, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't know any different. And it was a whole village raising the kids, and everybody watched out for everybody. Everybody did. It was a great place to be raised.
There's so much to unpack from what you just shared. This idea that there was I'll call it in today's terms, a gamification for you to get to this level, to reach this goal, to get the motor. 6 horsepower is all mine, baby. How do I take care of it?
It's all over it, man.
The other part I want to unpack is this drive to sure things are taken care of. Grandpa, my mom's dad, my biggest mentor in life, Grandpa Bob, he was like, Char, before we go out on the boat today, in the summers we go boating at Houghton Lake. This is in the middle part of the Lower Peninsula. We go boating, get pizza, go out on the boat, take it out to a little island and stuff that we park. Or we go water skiing behind it. I had a 40 horsepower. I could get up behind that. Right. Before we go on the boat, we're going to maintain it. I'm going to have you do a lot of the work. You know, he didn't actually say it that way. I just knew that I had
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And then in the winters, we had snowmobiles. So he had 2 ski-doos. And he goes, Char, we're going to go out on a snowmobile later. But before we do that, we're going to hit our chores. Part of that's going to be to make sure these things are maintained. We're going to, check the tracks, check the brake cables, check everything else, make sure everything's good. And then make sure that they're set to roll so we don't run into issues as we're out there. And that's the part that a lot of people don't realize. There's so much component to boating, definitely, where things break down, things got to be maintained, and you just got that knowledge. So kind of unpacking that for you, was that innate for you to just be like, oh, problem fixed? Or was it instilled in you from your dad, for example, to be like, this is how you got to maintain this?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
That's a great question. So growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We just didn't. In my opinion, I thought we had everything, but in retrospect, looking back, we didn't have a lot of money. My mom worked full time. My dad worked full time, but he always taught me, take care of the boat. Keep back then WD-40 is a big deal. Now it's corrosion block, but WD the power head, flush the motor, keep the boat clean, take care of it. Because if you don't, we don't have the money for another boat. So that was instilled. And I think since that point, all my stuff is maintained to a T. The boats, the airplane, the cars. I like everything clean, maintained. And it's funny because when Wade was little, we'd go see Uncle TJ in the Keys, and he had a lake and bay, and we'd go out in the boat all day, and Uncle TJ would pull the boat back next to the house, and he wouldn't rinse the trailer, flush the motor, just park it. Wade goes, Daddy, Uncle TJ's not rinsing the boat. I go, well, ask him why not. I go, if it was me, because I know, Dad, I know. Uncle TJ, you're not rinsing your boat off, flushing your motor. 5-year plan. He goes, what's the 5-year plan? Every 5 years I replace the boat, the motor, the trailer. I'm like, Wade, we don't have that kind of money. We're not doing the 5-year plan. Fast forward, we had our boat. Anytime Wade would use our lake and bay, he'd take it up on the lift. He'd flush the motor, lube everything, oil everything. Our motor was 10 years old on our lake and bay. There was not one piece of rust on it. That's unheard of.
Right.
Our boat trailer was like 11 years old, not one piece of rust on it.
Yep.
That's unheard of. But Wade, I instilled that in Wade, kind of like my dad instilled it in me. Now Wade has 2 F550 trucks that Peter built, an F250. He's got all this equipment for his business. It's maintained to a T.
Yeah.
He has them washed, waxed. He has them serviced on a regular basis. So that was something passed down. Then I take that into my real estate career. You don't do anything half but. Do everything all the way. Either do it all the way or don't do it. It's really simple. And I think when you pick up clients in your car, the car is washed, waxed, clean. They get inside, it's spotless clean. Well, if he takes care of his equipment this way, he'll probably take care of our transaction the same way. He'll take care of us. This guy cares. This realtor cares. I've been in some realtors' cars. Oh my God, it looks like they're living in their car. I'm like, dude, you can't take customers out. It's stinky. My cars smell good. My airplane smells good. My boat smells good. My boat is spotless. You open the hatches on my bilge, it is spotless. But I think that transfers back to taking care of people. If that dude's like so anal about taking care of his stuff, I think he'll take care of me and my family. He'll help us make the right choices. It just goes hand in hand. And it just made me think of something. Before Wade opened his company, we'd pull up to these hydraulic supply stores because he's working for another diesel company. He goes, Dad, you see that truck? I go, yeah, what's wrong with it? It's covered in like hydraulic fluid and oil and fingerprints. It's one of those big box trucks. And I go, how can you pull up to a job site with your truck looking like that? Are they going to let you work on these multi-million-dollar machines? No, Dad. I go, you remember what we just saw, Wade? Now, when he pulls up, Wade works for a huge company. He works in these multi-million-dollar big drag lines, these big machines. These machines are like 10 times bigger than the service trucks. But when he pulls up, the truck is spotless clean, washed, waxed, tools are in their place. He takes care of the client. And when the company, I won't say the name, saw that, they're like, all these other, I'm not saying anything bad about these other subcontractors, but their trucks look like crap. They're covered in grease and hydraulic fluid and oil, and they're beat up and they're dented up. If Wade gets a dent in his truck, he is mortified. If I get a dent in my truck, I'm mortified. It's got to be fixed immediately. I can't. It's just the way it is. And again, that translates to, if he takes good care of his stuff, he'll take care of us. He'll take care of our transaction. If something comes up, he'll make it right, just like I make my truck right, the airplane right, the boat right. It's the same thing. So I guess part of it's my dad taught me that. It just makes me feel good to have it right.
Yep.
I think it translates to anything you do in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Into your marriage. I want my marriage to be good. So I go the extra mile, and I've got a wonderful wife where she goes the extra mile. We're both givers. And when you have both givers giving, if I have an off day, which is rare, she's always there to give. If she has an off day, I'm always there to give.
Yeah.
And we just kind of feed off of each other.
Yep.
If somebody's having a bad day, I can't tell you. Being a real estate broker, you're also a psychiatrist, psychologist. We deal with so many divorces. I mean, so much stuff. You have to be there to listen to them and care and have compassion. It's not just about the transaction. Take care of the person. And they're going through the worst time of their life in a divorce. I've been there, done that. You've been there, done that.
Yep.
It's just refreshing and relieving to them knowing Shane's got my back. He'll make sure everything's going to be okay. And it will be okay. And I don't care if I have to stay up all night making sure it's okay. It will be okay. And it always is. And then that's why we, kind of switching gears, and there's my ADD. We have 100% client satisfaction for the last like 15 or 18 years.
Yeah.
You do what you're supposed to do. It's not rocket science. Take care of the people. Take care of the people. And that's how we get the repeat business and referral business. Because when somebody refers a friend, that's one of the biggest decisions you make in your life. Buying real estate or selling real estate. That's a big deal. That's a big financial commitment in your life, whether you're purchasing, selling, or selling to buy this. Shane, what do you think?
Yeah.
It's not about making the dollar. I'm like, if you sell that, you get capital gains. We'll buy that. If it was me, I would do it. Yeah. And there's been a lot of times I would say, I wouldn't do that. Why not? Because of this. Yeah, but you're going to make a commission. I don't care. I wouldn't do that. I got to sleep at night.
Yeah.
It's really, to me, it's cut and dry. It's black and white. It's easy. And I know a lot of people out there, whether you're whoever you are, maybe they see the dollar signs. I don't care. I don't care. I do care. Don't get me wrong. I care about dollar signs because I got to pay bills, but not on the expense of hurting somebody or harming somebody or making the wrong choice.
Yep.
You know what? Yep. And after doing 33 years in real estate, I'm doing something right because I've helped thousands of people. I've made a ton of money. And with that money, I'm able to give back to like Alamrada, the baseball team. I give back to the high school. I give back to things here. I give back to the fishing tournaments. When all the money is you're making money, you've got to give back. It is huge to give back. You can't keep everything. This is my opinion. Maybe other people are like, Shane, you're out of your mind. But you know what? It's the universe, man. It's karma. You have to give to get. And not even that you're trying to get, you just give. And everything falls into place.
Yep.
Don't want to say I haven't had hard times. You know, market tanked out. We were tight. We were with each other, man.
We were holding each other up.
Oh, it was horrible. Worst time in my life, and going through divorce at that time. It was horrible. But you know what? That ADD, laser focus. I know there's light there somewhere. Yep. I just don't see it yet. But this didn't matter. Taking care of my family, my clients, my friends. That was the most important thing. Yep. And here we are.
There was so much to unpack with what you just shared. One thing that I love, something we teach, I'm a high performance coach. We teach in psychology mastery that everybody wants to be seen, heard, acknowledged, and loved. And it's such a superpower today because of the digital divide, where people are looking at phones instead of looking in somebody's eyes.
Yeah.
Think of date night with somebody, somebody you love, and you're like staring at your phone instead of that person's eyes and creating a spark or creating a moment. That's one piece, and it feels like you nail that. The other piece is this idea of really co-creating with people. And it requires a skill that I feel you've mastered called active listening, to really hear people for what they're sharing, not to hear people to respond to them, but to really hear what's coming in and work through that and make that happen. So active listening, acknowledging of people, being a psychologist, psychiatrist, all these kind of things, a big part of it. We've covered a lot of the how. what we've covered now, we've talked earlier about the why, the values, why we are who we are, those kind of things, and the how we do things. So let's talk now about the what. When we think about what you do specifically, one of the areas that you and I have talked through is this idea of serving people in Southwest Florida. So maybe we can define that. And then what we do, like the true alignment of our skill set and services in Southwest Florida, the sort of sweet spot of what we really love to do in Southwest Florida. Then in the Keys as well. So let's start with Southwest Florida. We're talking waterfront real estate. Do you want to just expand on what you do in Southwest Florida to help people make great decisions in that regard?
100%. We'll get a phone call. They'll say, hey, we want to move to Southwest Florida. We want to experience that boating lifestyle that we see all these videos you do. We want to do that too. I said, great, come on down. Yeah. They'll come down. We have to figure out price point where they want to be. Do they want to be on the river, on the Gulf of Mexico? Do they want to be on a canal? Do they want to be further upriver? Do they want a better value maybe in Cape Coral where you'd have to get in your boat and drive 50 minutes in a canal to get out? The price point's going to be different. Let's say we determine a price point. I say, okay, what kind of boating do you want to do? Well, I don't like going offshore. I get seasick. I just want to stay like inland. All right, well, a bay boat, maybe a flats boat. Do you have kids? Yeah, I have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. You got to have a bay boat. Like a lake and bay flats boat, the gunwales are this tall, they're going to fall overboard. You can get to the beaches. You can get in Pine Island Sound. You can get upriver, downriver, go to the beach. You can run just off the beach maybe if you want to go fishing. Depends on their application. Then I get some guys say, no, man, I'm all in. I sold my company. I want to get one of those big go-fast boats with 3 or 4 motors. Great. All right. You want a big Contender? You want a CV? You want an Intrepid? You want an Invincible? What is your application? What do you want to do? Well, I want to run to Key West like you do, Shane. I'm like, all right, well, we need to get minimum 32 foot up to 42 foot. How much fuel do you want to hold? How far do you want to go? Well, I don't know. I said, do you want to go to Middle Grounds? Do you want to go to Tortugas? Do you want to go to Tortugas, hang out, fish there for 3 days, and go to Key West, fuel up? These are things I need to know. Oh, well, it'd be nice to go out for a couple of days, and I'll have a generator in a cabin. I said, all right, well, you need 500 gallons minimum to go out to Middle Grounds. That's 180 miles out. Yeah. Then you got to go south to Tortugas. And then you anchor up there. You're running your generator all night. So these are things I need to know to help the people. Then I get a lot of people say, well, maybe I should get 2 boats. And for years, people thought I was so stupid for having 2 boats. There's 2 separate applications. I have a 31 Contender, which I can run offshore, go to the Bahamas, run from here to the Keys, run from here to Middle Grounds, Tortugas. I have plenty of fuel. Or my bay boat. I have a 24-foot bay boat. I can run skinny water. I have a second station. So if I'm fishing customers, family, friends, I'm up in my second station. I'll see a snook or redfish. And I'll cast 1 o'clock. I don't see it. I said, just cast over there. Oh my gosh, I got a fish on. Yeah, that's why we're casting over there. We're catching. We're not fishing, we're catching. So it's all about the application. So once I find that out, I say, okay, so you want a big boat, a little boat? There's some neighborhoods where the water's super shallow. You'll never get that 31, that 35, that 42. Not going to happen. We need to maybe focus on McGregor Isles, Town and River, Palmetto Point. These are deeper water canals. You also want to focus on linear water frontage. If you want 2 boats, we got to think about it. We need a minimum of 70 feet linear water frontage. Well, what do you mean? I go, well, if you got a 40-foot boat and you got a 25-foot bay boat, you got to make sure they're going to fit nose to nose. Or if you're on like a canal de sac or on a basin, we can put them perpendicular. Nose out or nose in, depending on the dock application and how they design it. These are all things I think maybe a lot of realtors don't understand. They don't get. And I've heard time and time again from people saying, I looked at this house for $700,000. It was off McGregor. I go, yeah. Well, the realtor said I can get my boat in there. I said, you can't. Well, how do you know? I said, because I fished that for over 30 years. I know the water. I fished this whole area for actually over that 34, 35 years fishing. Yep. So I know every square inch of the river. I fished everywhere. After all that time, the waters. Yeah. Getting back to them buying a boat. So let's say we find a boat they like. You find a neighborhood they like. They want to get their big boat, get their little boat. Once we get the house sold to them, they love the house. They're starting to learn the lifestyle. I'll take them out, show them different areas. We'll make snail trails on their chart plotter. That's the little line so they can see.
That's so cool.
So, and I made a mistake years ago with my buddy Craig, one of my best friends. I said, Craig, we're going to go between this channel here and Redfish Pass. But I said, only go through here on high tide. Yeah, I got it. I said, we're making snail trails. Remember, only high tide. Low tide, don't go through here. Yeah. He had to go fast, but I helped him get. Anyway, so we ripped me. I can't wait for him to hear this. He's going to laugh. Well, he can laugh now. Back then, he didn't laugh. So we ran through there, and on the way back, I said, Craig, remember, high tide only at this little channel at Redfish Pass. All right, got it. Well, he went out a month later, low tide, ran aground, bent both prop shafts, tore up his props. He calls me, with some choice words. Shane, you told me. I said, when did you go there? Yesterday. I said, what time? Like 4:30. I said, that was dead low. We had negative tide that day, Craig. I told you don't. I'm not going to remember that. I'm like, so I learned a valuable lesson. Even when the high tide is high, I don't take people through there. I will stay in the channel with people until now he knows the channel. Now he knows the tides. He's a lake boater, not the ocean boater. You don't have tides on the lake.
Yes.
So getting back to that, it's just a matter of knowing what their application is. Are they fishermen? Do they just want to cruise in their boat and go to dinner on Sanibel or Fort Myers Beach?
Yeah.
Totally different application. You don't want a fishing boat. Maybe like a Boston whaler, like a bow rider. You can sit up front and just enjoy. There's so many different applications, but until they tell me what their application is, what do you want to do? We want to do what you do, Shane, but I don't like touching fish, but I want to just go out in the boat and go to the beach. All right, great. Those boats I named will work fine, but I'd get, 28, maybe a 30-footer, so you can go off the beach. You can still run Back Bay, but maybe not run 180 miles out. I mean, you can if you watch the weather, but you got to be boating for a long time to know the weather, watch the weather. You don't want to get stuck out there.
No.
So I think that adds value too, in knowing the water like I know the water. So once you tell me your price point, immediately a picture forms in my mind. Oops. And a lot of times what happens is people say, our price point is this. I can't get them what they want in South Fort Myers. It doesn't exist. It's too much money. However, we can go to Cape Coral. Cape Coral, there's a lot more homes, a lot more waterfront. It's more affordable, meaning Fort Myers, you have a limited supply. And if you have high demand, it drives prices. In Cape Coral, there are thousands and thousands, maybe not thousands and thousands of miles of canals there. Okay, so that reminds me, another guy sold a house to. He said, Shane, all these homes you're selling me, they have low front elevations. They're not pretty, like the big, pretty front elevations. So he sent me a bunch, and I called him back. His name's Jim. Dear friends of ours, became friends after we met him 15, 16 years ago. He goes, I go, Jim, the houses you're sending me, you're going to have a long boat ride out. I go, how many beers do you want to drink from the time you leave your house to get to the river? He started dying laughing. He goes, 1, maybe 2. I go, how fast do you drink beer? He goes, well, not that fast. I go, dude, by the time you get in the water, your boat at the house, it's going to take you 55 minutes to run your boat down a series of canals. You're going to have 3 bridges to go under, which have a maximum height of 9 feet. Well, how do you know that? I said, because I boated all these canals. This is what I know. This is what I do. I go, what kind of boat you get? Well, I don't know. I said, well, I need to know. Are you going to get a boat with a second station? You'll never make it to the house because the bridge won't allow it. Number 2, your wife is going to bellyache at you when she's sunburnt, wants to get home, and you got to idle down a canal for 55 minutes in June, July, August. It's going to be very bad for you. And then you're going to make a call to me, and it's going to be very bad for me. You may not get the fancy high ceilings, front elevation, beautiful, but you need to be on the east side of Del Prado. He goes, the things you've been sending me? I go, yeah. I go, do you want expansive water view or not? Yeah. I said, well, bump it up $75,000. I said, there's no guarantee in life, but historically speaking, you buy this house now, let Michelle do her thing and make it beautiful, which they did. They sold it like 5 years later, 4 years later, made like $250,000. Yeah. Insane. And now they live in this beautiful house, which is on the east side of Del Prado. So he's literally 4 minutes out to the river. Yep. The house I sold him before was literally 2 minutes out to the river. He gets it now. So when his friends come down, we saw this cool house in the front elevation, of high ceilings. It's new. Because how many beers do you want to, Jim says it, how many beers do you want to drink before you get out to the river? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, you don't want to be there. Our realtor, Shane, who's our dear friend, you don't want to be there. If you're not a big boater, you're an occasional boater once a month, do it. Doesn't matter. Yeah. But Jim and Michelle like to boat. I like to boat. So that's something else that maybe some realtors don't know. Yeah. I boated this whole entire area, like I said, 33, 34 years. I know it like the back of my hand in my sleep. I know where the restaurants are, the fuel stations, the sandbars, the places to go, places not to go. So,
and the depth of the boat times the tide. Yes. To help people who are newbies understand when you have a deeper draft boat. I had a 3-foot draft on my Sea Ray 23 foot. I moved down and I really got to speed quick with tide-based boating. And I'm like, this isn't, because I was right on the McGregor, right on the Clusahatchee, just north of College.
I remember that. Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And luckily, getting back to my dock had deeper water, even at low tide.
Yeah.
But right up half a mile, it was 2 feet, maybe a foot.
Probably a foot. Yeah.
Low tide.
I know.
And it was really critical. So there's a couple things to unpack with what you've shared. One is we just created, and we'll do this as part of the post-production, a guide for what to think about. Beers, total number of minutes to get to we'll say the river, through the canal
Colorado
system
River,
in Cape
sure.
Coral. We've talked about this before in other ways, but this idea that some houses in the Cape are on a canal, but it's not connected.
Can't get out to the river, man.
Yeah.
Can't get to the
It's
Gulf.
like-
You're on fresh water.
Yeah.
It's like, Shane, but it's so pretty. I said, yeah, but you said you want a boat. You can't get to the river. What does that mean? It means like you can't get your boat behind your house because you can't get to it by water or by the river. And you sure as heck can't get from your house out to the river. It's not connected.
Yeah.
Oh, why not? I go, I don't know. I didn't make the canals. It's not.
Yeah.
That's why it was such a good deal. I said, yeah, because it's no Gulf access. Tack $100,000 on, and then I'll get you where you want to be.
Critical.
It's huge.
Yep.
Huge. I can't say how many times I've talked to people. We found this house and this house and this house. And what do you think? I go, you're going to be boaters, right? Yeah. You can't get to the Gulf. What do you mean? And I'll zoom in or I'll show them on the map.
There's the waterway, but it doesn't connect to the outflow.
There's no access.
Or inflow from
there's-
the Gulf.
There's no access.
Yeah.
So that's something else too to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to know all this stuff when you're
Yeah.
selling waterfront property in depth.
Yeah. And there's another point you made that was so critical. I'm just so blessed that we were on the river so that we were able to just kind of idle into our dock.
Yeah.
But in the middle of summer, sitting there in the hot, humid 1:00 in the afternoon, you just want to be back. And you're putting through the canals as opposed to just sliding into your dock, pressing a button, getting pulled out of the
way.
water, getting the stuff off the boat. You and I, freshwater flushing the engine, cleaning
Yes.
the chrome, washing
Yes.
it down, that kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah. Big part of the waterfront lifestyle is understanding that aspect of it. And then if you have the drive, the care, the compassion to take care of what you got, I was instilled with me with my grandpa.
That's
It was instilled in you. It's instilled in your son and your family.
Yeah.
This idea of, okay, well, what's that actually look like on the daily? Times the frequency of how much I want to go out. A lot of people move down. They're out in their boat every day. And then after, maybe a month, 2 months or season or whatever, friends are coming down, that kind of thing. They're out in their boats once a week. And then all of a sudden they're out in their boat once a month.
Yeah.
And I was always told to freshwater flush your engine. Well, if you can, every time. But if you can't, at least run the boat once a week and freshwater flush it.
Yes.
And then these boats start to just deteriorate because it's by classification in the boating world, salt water, living on salt water with your boat is severe against all these different components and so on. So there is that requirement for that. And that's something that you educate them on.
100%.
Making sure they're getting the right boat, but also the right kind of maintenance plan, you know, what you do when you get out of it, who's going to do this. And I like how your Uncle TJ, whatever it was, I'm a 5-year plan, man.
I'm like, TJ, don't
New
tell
trailer,
Wade
new
that.
boat.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. TJ, no, man, new motor every 5 years, new boat trailer. I'm like, no, we're not teaching Wade that. No. Maybe you do that, but we're not doing that. I mean, no. So it's funny.
So let's take a moment here as we think about the what we do and how we help people live their lifestyle through the lens of flying. Because we're blessed in Fort Myers, to have Page Field.
Yeah.
And that's a great airport to get out quick. And it's relatively centrally located. Then we have off to the side, Southwest Florida International. So talk to me a bit about the two airports that we have here in Fort Myers and if somebody's thinking about, I want to move to Florida. I definitely want to do boating, but I would love to fly because I have my pilot's license and I want to move my plane down from Illinois or Michigan or something like that. What does that lifestyle look like? And
It's huge.
The gist of that?
It's huge. So I've got another good buddy, Todd. I won't say his last name, and very instrumental in helping me not learn to fly, but he taught me a lot.
Okay.
And he's been a pilot like almost 40 years, 37 years. He lives in Indiana. I sold him several properties here, but now he flies from Indiana down to Page. He's got a hangar now reserved. He's on the waiting list for 6 years. I was on the waiting list for 6 years to get a hangar. That's where you put your plane inside.
Yeah.
We have actually a lot of customers who fly themselves here, and they'll fly to the Bahamas. They'll fly to the Keys. It's a big part of their life because they know the time savings it gives you. And once Todd gets here, he has a car at the airport. He'll go to his house. He has his boat in the backyard. He's living the waterfront lifestyle. He's from Indiana. He's lake. He's used to lakes. I've had to teach him, okay, low tide, Todd, don't go here, stay in the marked waterways or in the channel.
Yeah.
He gets it, helping him to dock his boat. He called me one day, and Todd, I'm not saying anything bad, but this happens to everybody. He called, he goes, hey man, I bought was it a Four Winds? Not a Four Winds. It was I forget the name of the boat, big tall boat, big cabin, had twin engines. He was having a hard time getting it in the slip because the wind was blowing. So I went over to the house, said, Todd, get on the boat. He's trying to use the joystick. For those of you people who have joysticks on your boats, please learn how to drive the boat in case the joystick goes out. It's fine and dandy to run it forward and backward, side to side. But when you have a 25 knot wind, you can mash that joystick to the side. The boat does not have the power. It doesn't. So anyway, long story short, showed Todd how to get it into the slip of the strong wind, trajectory, turning, forward, backwards. But it's interesting to teach him that. Ever since that time, he never had an issue. Never had an issue. Getting back to the flying, he was very instrumental too, teaching me, like, I thought it was a big deal before I started flying. Like, oh my gosh, it's an airplane. It's, all time consuming and this and that. He goes, no, man. He goes, saves so much time. Like I mentioned before, if I have an appointment in Islamorada, I will get in my plane here at Page Field, 55 minutes. If I have a tailwind, I made it in 42 minutes one time, which is insane. A tailwind is where the wind's pushing you. And I'll get there, show property all day, go visit my dad, see some friends, go have lunch, get in the plane. I'll fly back. Now I have a headwind. It might take 1 hour and 55 minutes, not an hour and 55 minutes or an hour. Yeah. But I'm back in Fort Myers going to my listing appointment at 5 or going to see my grandkids at 6 or whatever it may be. That is a huge time saver.
Yeah.
We're able to list properties throughout the Keys. I can land in Tavernier and be in Key Largo. If somebody calls now, I could be there within 2 hours, get to the plane, get down there. Typically, a homeowner's home, they want 2 hours minimum showing anyway to clean up the house and get out. Or if I know I'm showing property in Key West, I go to Page Field, I get my plane. It's a straight shot, almost due south to Key West. I'm there in an hour, maybe an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They have loaner cars there. Get in the car, you go show property all day or half a day or whatever. And then from there, I'll fly from Key West. I'll fly back to Tavernier, go to my house and work there or hang out for a day or two and see friends or clients, customers, or go fishing with customers.
Yep.
And then next morning, get my plane, fly back to Fort Myers. So I've covered all this ground in a fraction of the time. If you try to drive from here to Key West to show our listing down there, it's 6 hours, no traffic, maybe 7 hours with traffic.
Yeah,
there's an accident.
Because you got to go all the way over to Miami and then down.
You got to go down all the way over. Take 41, which is a slow road, all the way down to Key West. Yeah. I'm there in an hour. It's not, it's a no-brainer. And many times we've been in Tavernier where the weather was questionable here. I don't fly in bad or marginal weather. If it's bad or marginal, I don't fly. That's how pilots die. And I would say probably 90% of the time that pilots die, they fly into bad weather. They get their itis. We need to get there. There's an old saying my instructor taught me. There's old pilots and bold pilots, but no old, bold pilots because they're all dead. I know, it's crazy.
I love that.
Yeah. There's been several times I cranked up the airplane in Tavernier. Ann and I are in the plane. I look at the weather on my scope. I'm like, no, we're not doing it. Shut the plane off, put the plane back. We'll drive back the 3.5, 4 hours. Next day, if I don't have appointments, I'll drive back down, get my plane, and go back.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. We were flying from here to... were we going to Marathon? Might have been going to Marathon, and I got just outside of the Everglades, and I see this red blob start getting bigger and bigger and bigger within 20 minutes, and then it moved between me and where I was going. So, Fort Myers is here, Everglades is here, and I'm going to Marathon, and the red blob grew all within 20 minutes. I landed in Everglades City. X50 is the
I fly in Flight Simulator.
Yes, X50. Yep. It's 50 feet wide, 2,200 feet long. You got water, and if you hit that, that's the fuel. So don't hit the fuel. And I land, I look, and I go upstairs, and I'll talk to I forget the guy's name. Super nice guy. I go, hey man, let me look at your chart real quick, the plotter. Don't look at his. I wouldn't do it. I go, I'm not. So I said, bye. Got back in the plane, flew back to Fort Myers. Yeah. Moved my appointment to the next day. Most pilots, I got to get there. I got to meet these people.
Get their itis.
You get their itis, you're dead. It happens all the time. I could tell you story after story after story.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, how did the airports being here, it's convenient for customers who maybe live up north. They can fly into RSW.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. It's Class Charlie. And they either have a car there or they'll take an Uber, or if I'm near there or know they're coming and not busy, I'll pick them up, bring them to the house where their car is.
Yep.
They're in Florida. Todd, when he flies commercials, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes from Indiana. So it's huge having the airport here. And even in Punta Gorda, a lot of people will fly to Punta Gorda because it's inexpensive to land there through Allegiant. I think it is Allegiant.
Yep, Allegiant. We fly Allegiant.
Yeah. So having two airports right here, you got Punta Gorda there.
Yeah.
Having Tavernier, which is a private airstrip, which I know a lot of people on the airstrip, or Marathon, anybody can land there, or Key West.
Yeah.
It's just like driving a car, and people don't understand it. It's easy. I got to be somewhere great. I'll meet you there. All right, well, I'll be there in 4 hours. All right, well, I'll be there in 55 minutes, but I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
I mean, I had people from Fort Lauderdale coming to the Keys to see property.
Yeah.
They can leave before I do. I'll hop on the plane an hour later. I'm there. I'm already at the property, and they're stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
It's just a game changer, and I didn't know it. And now I love flying. I mean,
Yeah.
we flew to the Bahamas. We flew to the Bahamas about a month ago to help my buddy open up his house. My buddy TJ met our buddy Steve.
Yeah.
We went lobstering, spearfishing, opened up the house, washed all the windows. I did a video on that, sent it out, sent you the footage.
I mean, I've seen them, but I didn't know about that one.
It's just insane. I mean, we were there at a tailwind. I was there in an hour and 35 minutes at Norman's. It's like 260 miles, something like that. And then coming back, I flew to Key West, went through customs, flew to Tavernier, dropped TJ off, out back in the plane, flew back home. I was home. I mean, within
That's amazing.
within 3.5 hours, I'm in the Bahamas, customs, Tavernier, back home.
And the thing that we need, a couple of things we need people to be aware of who are pilots and want to fly in Southwest Florida or Florida in general, is that in basically from, let's say, the end of May, beginning of June through the first cold front in October, you've got to be really careful of what you're describing of these thunderheads building out within literally 10, 15, 20 minutes. They grow fast, they grow wide, they get together as a group and say, hey, you're not going anywhere,
You're
buddy.
not going anywhere. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people are not used to flying Florida weather.
Yeah.
It's a different animal. You get to end of May, June, July, August, September.
Yeah.
October, not as much. I'll take off at a page and I see a little red blob. And within 15 minutes, that red blob is now 15 miles. Within another 10 minutes, it's 20 miles wide.
It happens fast.
You're not flying around it. You're not flying above it. Those clouds could be 40, 50,000 feet.
Yep.
And there's turbulence in the cloud. Cumulus nimbus clouds is what they're called. A lot of people don't understand it. There's updrafts and downdrafts.
Rip your wings off.
It'll rip your wings right off. And I have a kind of a sad story. Uncle Phil and his good buddy, his wife, and the 4 dogs were flying and unfortunately got in bad weather, ripped the wings off, and they all died. This was about 6 years ago, 5 years ago. He had 3,500 hours. Uncle Phil was like the best pilot. I mean, I looked up to him. They thought they're on the outskirts of it, and somehow something bad happened. And so,
well, even where it's not necessarily cloudy, there's winds pushing out and through. You'll feel that in a downdraft from a thunderhead that's 2 miles south of us,
far away,
and it's pushing cool air middle of summer, and you're like, "Where is that coming from?" And you're looking, there's a big thunderhead over there.
I mean,
so we just want to be careful if you're looking to move to Florida for the flying. It's like draft, the draft of your boat and the tide-based boating. It's very parallel in that you got to be extremely careful about the weather side of it. I know a lot of pilots who've come to Florida and they're like, I'm only flying in the morning from 6 to 10.
Yep.
And beyond that, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to be chancing or get theiritis. That's not part of my scene. So we'll get up. We're going to get up at 6. We're going to fly to here. We're going to fly to there. We're going to fly back and do that. Another aspect that I want to bring up is North Captiva has a small landing strip. So a lot of people, they'll skip around to these smaller landing strips. A friend of mine, Steve, took me out. We went to Venice. We landed there, had brunch. Then we went up in the middle of the state. I can't think of the city name. Landed there, and then a really old school mechanic, he turned his plane in to do the annual, and he took another plane. I think we took another plane, or we checked on his plane. That's why he has 2 planes. So we flew out of Pagefield. We went to brunch. Then we flew up to the middle of the state, checked on his plane. It's going through his annual. And then we flew back, and he goes, just wanted to make sure everything was going. And this old guy, I cannot think of his name, but he was just 30 years, the kind of guy that was at one soulfully with the airplane, and he felt everything was all right. Everything's put back, got everything checked, check on the annuals and all that. So the part that I really want to make sure we talk through a little bit is the fact that you can skip around if you have a smaller plane and have that adventure that you can get on the boat, but be careful of summer. And also recognize that you can pop off over here, land over there, pop off over here, pop over there. Any thoughts and insights?
It's funny you say about North Captiva. I was there yesterday doing some videos, and I'm with a videographer. I said, you see that plane coming? He goes, yep. I go, he's going to do a flyover. He goes, what does that mean? He's going to fly over. They just put the strip back together after the hurricane. It was all wonky and sand washed up, and you couldn't land forever. And we went by, and we shot some video from the boat, and the strip's all redone now. There were sprinklers out there watering the grass, and this plane flew over. I said, watch, he's going to make a right base. He goes, what do you mean? Oh, I said, well, he's going to turn right, go back down and come back. And sure enough, he turned around, and an airplane landed while we were there, and he got it on tape, which is so cool.
That's awesome.
I mean, and the thing is, it's a private airport.
Perhaps we'll take that video and put it right here.
That would be very cool. That would be very cool. And if you own a house on the strip, I think you have landing rights, or you can get permission. I have a friend in the Keys who lives in Tavernier.
Okay.
he flew up there. They rented a house, and he was able to land at that strip instead of driving the 5 hours. What would that be? 4.5 hours, 5 hours out to Captiva, then getting on the shuttle boat and getting to North Captiva. They rented the house. It's just funny you bring that up. Yeah, just yesterday I was there. But yeah, having a smaller, I like high wing planes. I can land in less than 1,000 feet. I can take off in 1,000 feet.
Okay.
Now, if I'm fully loaded, 4 people, full fuel, it's hot out.
You're going to need way more.
You get altitude density, basically. Your plane thinks you're at 5,000 feet, so it's struggling to get off the ground. You got to do your weight and balance. And there's so many factors that pilots know. Yeah. You got to be very careful. They had, on that exact strip, years ago, they had a guy who flew from the mainland, had a bunch of tile on the back of his plane. You might remember this. 8 or 9 years ago, he came in to land on North Captiva, and when he's coming in for landing, the tile shifted. It threw his CG off, center of gravity, his weight and balance off, and it put the plane up like this. I don't know if he hit and went into the water or hit the water, but it killed him. He died. But again, that's not being smart. Your plane is not designed to haul heavy tile. It's designed to haul people and maybe some stuff within your weight and balance.
Yep.
So a lot of things that go into flying. It's not just get in the plane, start the motor, and go. You got your pre-flight. There's so much stuff you have to do. Because I'm ADD, I don't miss a thing, man. I got my checklist and my checklist and my checklist. 100%.
I mean, great businesses run on great systems, but systems are a necessity. Check on the pre-flight and getting everything set up, weight and balance, the whole shebang on that side. Just for a frame of reference, how long is North Cap's runway?
I think it's 2,000 feet.
Okay.
2,100, which is plenty.
Yeah.
And of course, you need to, when you do your flyover, you're looking at the windsock. Which way is the wind coming? You're always landing into the wind. It gives you more lift. You don't ever land with the wind because you have no lift. You don't have that airflow going over the wing, creating the airfoil, giving you lift. If you're going with the wind, it's, blowing 20 knots, you're going with it, and you got to land at, 65 knots. You got a problem. That means you're really doing 40, 45 knots.
Yeah.
You're going to lose lift and you're going to crash.
Yeah. Yep.
Turn it around.
You got to make sure.
Yeah. Or if you have a crosswind coming out of the north or south, and, like in Tavanera, we've got trees and houses on either side. It's 22 feet or 2,200 feet. You got water, houses. And you get that crosswind. When I'm coming in for landing with 30-degree flaps, I'm at, 65 knots. When you get below that tree line, you lose your lift. So sometimes you got to give it power. Sometimes you got to pull back. You just got to feel the plane.
Yeah. And
my instructor, and this is kind of funny, Ed Wilson, no relation, he was 84 years old.
Yeah.
He taught me how to fly. And I came home that day. It's insane. And looking back, I'm like, what were you doing, Shane? But anyway, my perspective and my wife's are two different things. So I came back that day, my wife Ann goes, Shane, how was your first day of flying? I go, oh my God, it was awesome. I said, Ed's been flying for 65 years. She goes, good God, how old is he? He's 85, 86. She goes, Shane, what if he strokes out? I go, I didn't look at it that way. My perception was he hasn't crashed in 65 years. He's alive. He's a great pilot. Not thinking he's 85, 86 years old. The guy taught me how to live, how to fly the plane.
Wow.
When all else fails and everything's haywire, he goes, Shane, what do you do? I go, I'm in the left seat, you right seat. I go, I don't know. He goes, fly the plane, Shane. Fly the plane.
Yeah.
So that's instilled in my head, and I'll tell a real quick story that may help another pilot one day. You have VFR and IFR. VFR is visual. IFR is instrument. I'm not instrument rated yet, which this year I'm going to get it done. We're flying to Tavanera. He's going to come into Tavanera. It's challenging to land there. Most pilots look at that and say, there's no way in hell I'm landing. No, I'm not landing there. They want to have 3, 4, 5, 6,000 feet of paved runway. This is grass, 2,000 feet. You mess up, you got a problem. You're in the water or in the mangroves. Yeah. And we're halfway down to the Keys, and it was white clouds like stratosphere, not really cumulus nimbus. It was just like clouds, but no tornadic activity inside of them. They weren't dark. They're just white. You can fly through them. You get Shane. Fly down there. Go in those clouds. I'm flying. I said, Ed, we're not supposed to do that. Go down in the cloud, Shane. I'm like, all right, well, he's been flying 65 years. He's alive. He's 85, 86 years old. All right, he knows what he's doing. So I'm at 5,500. I get down to like 3,500 feet. I'm in the clouds, and I'm flying. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. You can't see anything. It's just white out. I'm flying along. Because, Shane, how we doing? I said, oh, I'm doing great. He goes, we're going to be dead in 2 minutes. I go, dead? He goes, look at your instruments. And I had steam gauges back then, not the glass cockpit I have now. Now I've got the ultimate. I'm in like a 20-degree bank going down at 500 feet a minute. In 2 more minutes, we would have crashed in the water. He goes, what do you do? And of course, I'm thinking, all right, what do we do? He goes, Shane, level your wings. Well, don't do a JFK where you...
Yep.
So I leveled my wings. Now what do you do? I go, Straight and level. Yes. So long story short, got wings level, looking at instruments. You never look outside. Your body's going to lie to you every time.
Oh, yeah.
You have to look at your instruments.
Yep.
Wing straight and level.
Get everything checked.
Yeah. He goes, how you doing now, Shane? He said, we're doing good. He goes, do not ever for a millisecond take your eyes off those instruments when you're in IFR, when it's clouds outside.
Yep.
For 1 second, looking out, you throw yourself off. You think you're flying straight and level. You're not.
Yeah.
He goes, all right, get us out of the clouds. So I got out of the clouds. So fast forward 3-4 years, we're flying to the Bahamas over the state of Florida. PG, another good friend of ours from the Bahamas, and my wife, she's in the back. We're flying at 4,500 feet. And I see these clouds. I'm like, yeah, looks a little clear on the other side. Long story short, got into the clouds, and I'm flying. And I wouldn't take my eyes off the instruments, but I can kind of see in my peripheral, Anne's white-knuckled. She's hanging on. My buddy PG doesn't have a clue. He's like, this is cool. I'm like, no, this is not cool.
Yeah.
And I'm flying along, and we're in the white clouds for about 35 minutes. Wow. And for 35 minutes, did not take my eyes. You can't turn around in the clouds because you'll get spatial disorientation.
Yep.
That's a problem. Get into a spin. And for probably closer to 40 minutes, I was flying. Never took my eyes off of it. We got to the coast, right on the other side of Palm Beach. I'm out of their airspace. Boom, opened up. Beautiful blue sky. I'm like, the point of my story is Ed Wilson in the back of my mind is saying, Shane, fly the plane. Do not take your eyes off the instruments. You look straight out. And back then the autopilot was intermittent. I didn't have enough money. It's like 20 grand for an autopilot, saving for an autopilot. I didn't have an autopilot, you know.
Yep.
Typically you have a blue button you push, stabilizes the wing, straight and level flight. Then you can reevaluate.
Yeah.
The new plane, full glass cockpit, touchscreen. I see ADSB out, ADSB in. I can see traffic. I can see everything.
Yep.
Everything's new in the plane. So totally safe, retractable gear. If I lose my motor over the water, leave the gear up, we'll skip on the water. We are going to live. The plane may be total, but we will live. But I tell that story and maybe other pilots listening will be like,
yep,
I should get my IFR. When I'm flying and I'm in the clouds, not purposely, do not look at your right-hand guy. Do not look behind you. You will get thrown off.
Yeah.
And if Ed hadn't taken me in the clouds that time, it probably wouldn't
that
have turned
emotional
out good.
connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard Ed. Shane.
Ed.
Do not take your eyes off the instruments. Do not look out that screen, your windshield. Do not look behind you.
Yeah.
You look straight. Do not take your eyes off. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Once we got out, Ann goes, was that close? I go, no, it wasn't close. Ed was with me. He's passed away since then, but it's crazy how things happen.
I want to celebrate great mentors who really look out for us. That's what I hope. I believe you are. I
100%.
am. We really try to look around corners, plant life themes, listening to Ed, fly the plane, Shane. That's a life theme that can save not only your life, but you and I are on microphone right now, putting this into the world. There's a ripple effect. And that's the essence of this. So rest in peace.
Big deal, man.
Ed. And thank you for being such a great inspirational source. And I'm certain he's taught many people over this.
Thousands of people.
Thousands. This amazing time on the planet.
Yeah.
So the essence of it is this. If you're thinking of flying in this part of Florida, in the Keys, be very careful, especially from what's kind of like hurricane season's map. June 1st through the end of November, I think, is when hurricane season ends. You got to be ultra vigilant about watching these little white puffy specks build out in literally no time, and then being aware it's not just in the cloud, it's around the cloud. Most pilots would know that. And be careful about that if that's part of your drive, desire, goal to live here in Southwest Florida. But there is so much to do and so many places to go. Pop to the Bahamas, pop over to North Cap, pop down to the Keys, do all this kind of stuff. Get there in short order and not have to deal with just the Miami mess of traffic. Those kind of
100%.
things. There's one other area I want to talk through at the what level for us today. And that's, you were sharing some of the hints and tips of Cape Coral and Fort Myers, Southwest Florida-ish, that kind of thing. So when you think about, if somebody's thinking about buying a home in the Keys, what's the lay of the land in the Keys? We could talk it through the money lens, like more money down here or more money over here, or the lifestyle lens, the boating lens, what you want to do. What's some things people need to be aware of?
I think buying in the Keys, excuse me, it's a different animal. First, it's price point. Maybe somebody doesn't want to spend over $1 million. Maybe they want to stay in that 700,000 or 800,000. We can find them property that have boat parks, meaning that the home is off water. They can keep their boat on the trailer. They can get in their car, hook up the trailer, and drive the truck and trailer to the boat ramp in their neighborhood, which is only for that neighborhood. Take the chain off, open the gate, put in, park your truck and trailer, go out for the day, boating, fishing, lobstering, diving,
Yeah.
cruising, come back, pull your boat out, pull your boat back to your house. Some boat parks, and this is a big deal to people who maybe don't have the means to buy something on the water where the boat is on the lift. Some boat parks offer like 24 or 48 hour parking at the dock. So hook up your boat, get it all ready to go. You put the boat in at the boat ramp. You have a couple little slips there, first come, first serve. You can leave your boat there, go out boating all day, fishing, lobstering, diving, just having a great time. Go to dinner, buy a boat, come back. You can leave it there.
Okay.
You'll take your truck and trailer back to your house. And sometimes, like I said, some are 24 hours, 48 hours, 36 hours. Those are the nicer boat parks, a little more, I don't say nicer neighborhood, it's just a little nicer. Then after 36 hours, if somebody's not, beating down your door, hey man, look, you've been there 3 days, it's my turn. And typically they don't get used. You leave it there longer if you want to. Then you have homes maybe that are less expensive. They don't have boat parks, but there's community boat ramps in the area. Key Largo, like over at, oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of the place. Anyway, there's a public boat ramp there. There's a couple more in Key Largo. There's some in Islamorada. And maybe you want to buy a house for $500,000 or $600,000 to have a place in the Keys to keep your boat and put it at one of these community boat ramps and go boat all day.
Yeah.
If you really had that goal and desire and want to be on the water, you could probably find something for Upper Keys. I say Upper Keys, Islamorada, Lower Mat, $1.3 million, $1.4 million on the water. Nothing super fancy, but the dream that you're living, the dream you've had since you started your business 20, 30 years ago, to be on the water, to pull up into the Florida Keys, to walk on your dock and see 15 feet down and see the fish and the lobster tentacles sticking up from under the seawall. I mean, this is a real thing. And push that button and drop your boat in and go fishing and boating and snorkeling and diving and trolling and whatever all day. You come back to your dock, push that button, your boat comes out, you unload all the fish. Depending on your exposure, if you're Western or northern, Western or Eastern exposure, you clean your fish. And if it's too hot, you wait for the sun to go down or jump in your swimming pool. These are all visions in their mind that they had, like Craig. He wanted to be on the water, have a swimming pool, have a beautiful home for his 5 kids. He had the vision. I met him from the website you built for me 25 years ago. Yeah. But getting back to the Keys, most of the people I work with have a vision. They have a dream. And then when they see all the videos I shoot in the Keys of snorkeling, diving, catching lobster, catching fish, pulling up to hog heaven, I'm cleaning the fish on the dock, and people are standing around like, what are you doing? I said, well, we just caught this mahi or caught that tuna. Yeah. Well, then what are you going to do? I said, well, they're going to cook it for us. Yeah. You can bring your fish here. We're going to clean the fish right there. They're going to cook it for you. And whatever you don't eat, you bring home, and whatever we don't cook, you bring home, cook it tomorrow or freeze it if you want to, take it back home. So there's so many different aspects. Some people say, look, man, I'm all in. I want 2 boats. I want the ocean boat to run offshore and go sword fishing or go tuna fishing, mahi. And I want a flats boat or a bay boat to run out back in the Florida Bay to go catch snook, redfish, snapper, whatever it is, whatever the application is. Okay. Then I ask them again, what is our price point? Okay. 2 to 4. Okay, fine. Yeah. We'll pull up on, what exactly do you want to do again? Well, I want to spend a lot of time on the bay, a lot of time on the ocean. I said, all right, well, the 2 homes you sent me are in Key Largo. I said, you do understand you've got to run up to Cross Key Waterways, also known as Adams Cut. It's a 20, 30-minute boat ride just to get to the bay, or if you're on the bay, to get to the ocean, or you got to run your boat 25, 30 minutes down to Tavernier Creek. Do you want to do that? Yeah. Well, heck no, they don't want to do it because it takes forever. Same thing in the Cape with the canals. Yeah, same thing. They go, we never thought about that. I said, that's why you hired a waterfront expert. I'm born and raised here in the Keys. Yep. I think based on what you're telling me, your price point, your application for wanting to be offshore in the back bay, you love snorkeling every weekend. We need to be, let's say hypothetically, near Tavernier Creek, mile marker, what is that, 90, 91, 89, something like that. 92 actually, no, 91. If you buy in that area within 5 to 10 minutes, you can cut through Tavernier Creek, you're out. If you want to go a little south and go through Snake Creek, you're out to the ocean side. If you buy in the ocean side, say you buy in Venetian Shores, which is off Snake Creek, that day you want to go offshore, come back, get the family, hop in your bay boat, run around the bay and go to Marker 88 for dinner. Or go to, oh my gosh, Pierre's. You can go to Lorelei. You can go, there's a ton of restaurants to go to by water. I need this information so I can best help you. Yep. You know, how big of a boat do you want? Well, I want a 42-foot Intrepid. Okay, you need about 3 foot. This particular neighborhood won't work. Why not? Because when you come into the neighborhood, it's about 2.5 to 3 foot. But once you get 100 feet into the canal, it drops off to 15 feet. You'll never get in and out in a big boat. You need a smaller boat. Yeah. They never thought of it. Yeah. Okay. Lower Matacumbe on the ocean side. You'll have some houses on the ocean that they'll have a 300-foot pier. And you get to the 300 foot and you're in 3 feet of water, maybe 4 foot.
Wow.
That ain't going to work.
Yeah.
It's too shallow.
Yep.
Not only that, when you get the storms that come in, it's going to beat your boat up.
Yeah.
It depends what their application. I have some people say, I don't care about boating. I want to be on the ocean, 3 to 5. I just want to see the ocean and the sunrise.
Yeah.
Or I want to be on the bay. I want to see that sunset every day. I don't care about boating.
Yeah.
If they got a boat, it's going to sit. So these are all things that I need to know. And I'm being raised in the Keys. I fished all that water. Key Largo to Key West. I mean, everywhere we go is by boat. As kids, before we got our driver's licenses,
Wow.
you couldn't drive. We got in our boats. We'd go to here, go there, go to Key Largo, go to Alamrada. I mean, go to Marathon on the boat. We didn't tell our parents when we were that young, but we did. They had no clue. Be home before dark. Yes, ma'am. So again, it's I need to know what your application is. Are you fishermen, divers? Are you not? Are you just want to be in a wide canal, have a boat in the backyard so it looks pretty? I need to know these things. But a lot of it's price driven. Again, somebody who maybe can't do the waterfront to have their boat on their boat lift in the backyard, I have options for them. Maybe somebody wants a condo for $500,000. They don't care. They just want to have a residence, an address in the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
That's important to them. So there's so many different factors that go into it. You know, size boat. I mean,
I feel like we'll be able to pull from this transcript of this great checklists.
yes.
Great concepts. Then we can build from that, which is amazing because that's just part of the whole process of why we're doing a podcast. Is not only to provide information, to understand our why, our how, and our what. So the big thing as we start to wrap up, you've got a couple websites. And can you break down the websites and what the application is for the websites?
I'd love to. So when we built these years ago with you,
Yeah.
I wanted to have first initially the Southwest Florida. And then when we opened the office down south, I wanted to have another website to differentiate the two. They're two different markets.
Completely different markets. Yeah.
Totally different. But how do you learn a market by not living it, eating it, breathing it, fishing it, boating it? Raised in the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
I know the area like the back of my hand. My dad's still there. I mean, you know, Southwest Florida for 33 years, fished. Beaches. I mean, it's just two different animals. The water is amazing, clear, gorgeous in the Keys. We really don't have beaches there. Southwest Florida, we have these amazing beaches.
Yep.
In the Keys, I can run 10, 12, 15 miles out in the Gulf Stream and be catching blackfin tuna, mahi, wahoo. When I want to go offshore here to fish grouper fish, I run about 80, 90 miles out because you're on the continental shelf. Different animal. You know, if I want to catch snook redfish, I can fish off the beach in Southwest Florida, or in the Keys, I'll be fishing off the mangroves. I mean, it's all depends what your application is and what you're trying to catch. There's just vast knowledge. So getting back to your question, we have ShaneWaterfrontWilson.com, which is Southwest Florida website.
Yep.
It markets Southwest Florida, the beaches, the boating, the fun, real estate. And then we have ShaneWaterfrontWilsonTeam.com, which is the Florida Keys.
Okay.
Key Largo to Key West. It has boating stuff in there, properties in there, not just my listings.
Yeah.
Everybody's listings. And like I said, interesting story. My other buddy, I won't say his name, when he first came to Southwest Florida, met with a realtor. The realtor showed him 4 listings. They were all that realtor's listings, not an MLS. And my friend said, hey, he goes to the realtor. He's no longer a realtor, obviously. Why are you showing me just your listings? He goes, I have the best listings, you know, in the area. He goes, no, man. He goes, I want to see everybody's listings. He goes, well, mine are the best. He fired that guy. And then luckily, my friend found me on my website that you built for me 25 years ago.
Oh, it's so gold.
We get to a house. He goes, who's listing? I don't know, Jane Doe. All right. Well, second listing. Who's listing? You know, John Doe, Mary Smith.
Yeah.
You're not showing me your listings. I go, no, that's not what you asked for. You asked for this specific criteria. I'm showing you what's out there.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yep.
Back to being honest.
Yep.
That other realtors no longer in the business because they weren't being true to the people.
It's that big thing in what we covered the front part of our work today with the why is being real clear on our values and living them. But it's not like we're trying to live them. We're just them.
That's right.
It's innate. It's part of us. It's just who we are.
100%.
And we're living purposely, going after it, taking care of it. So as we start to wrap up, any big lessons, takeaways, thoughts from our journey today that you just want to make sure people hear from you? This could be how to handle life, could be a life theme, could be a life anthem you've got. You shared a couple on our journey today. Yeah. Anything you want to share as words of wisdom for people?
I do. I do. Real estate can either consume you and chew you up, and it can be a 7-day-a-week thing, which pretty much for me it is. I don't mind it because I love what I do.
Yeah.
With that said, I still schedule out time for my family, schedule time out for the kids, the grandkids. Find somebody who's passionate about what they do. Find somebody who's knowledgeable that knows the waterfront market. I know a lot of realtors may say, and I'm not poo-pooing these realtors, they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a waterfront expert. You are, great. How high is that bridge getting into 54th Street? I don't know. Well, it's 9 feet at average mean tide. They have a second station. You'll never get through there. Or in the Keys, certain neighborhoods you go into.
Yeah.
That you'll never get that big boat in there. It's too shallow. Even at high tide, you'll never get it in there. These are things that you need to know. What else I learned is just be true and be honest, tell the truth. It's not about the sale. It's about helping the people. The sale will follow. If it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
And if they don't buy, that's okay. Not everybody's going to love the water. Some people don't like the water. That's okay. I sell off water too.
The scene. Yeah.
I mean, homes in the Keys, we sell off water. They could care less. They just want to be in that vibe of the Florida Keys and the palm trees. Southwest Florida, they don't care about the beaches, the water. They're golfers.
Yeah.
I'll sell you in a golf course community. I can sell you, tell me what your passions are. What do you enjoy doing? Do you want to be in a country club that's gated, that has all the activities? We sell those all the time. It's not just the waterfront. I love waterfront, but in general, I love helping people. I love real estate.
Yeah.
It works, man. 34 years, it's something. I'm doing something right. So.
The thing that I want to make sure people land with what you've shared is this. If you don't know, if you have a vision for the life, you want to boat, you want to fly, you want to golf, but you haven't been here, you're able to take them and have that experience with them cross spectrum so they can feel it.
Yes.
Something I teach my girls, they're now 2022,
awesome.
is that before you go out and commit to a degree, step into it to see what that degree does and see what subsect of that degree is, depending on the degree. If it's engineering in general, what kind of engineering do you want to do? For my youngest, she's going for engineering.
That's awesome.
So same story though. We want to make sure that people get the feeling of what it actually feels like. Some people can't stand the Florida humidity in the summer. When I moved down from Michigan, 70 and non-humid was hot for me. And then that first summer, I'm dying. But second summer, I'm like, I actually like this. I'd much rather have hot 90 and humid than 10 degrees with wind chill of negative 10. And I'm like, and then I started to get lean because I was a big boy when I moved down here.
I remember.
And I got lean.
Boy,
I was like, this is great. And I love being out in it. So just to land this beautiful episode with the fact that if you really want to make sure you not only dip your toe in it, but you get the full experience of what the lifestyle is, you've got that capacity.
100%.
Some people, they may say, listen, I want to live in Town and River, and how long does it take to get to my favorite place, Cabbage Key?
Right.
And you're like, well, let's get in and let's go over to Town and River where the houses are, get an idea, and then we'll just put it on the clock, and we'll go out, and we'll stop by Picnic Island and on our way up, and we'll get that experience, and then we'll come back and pretend park your boat so you get the full scoop. Absolutely. And then maybe tomorrow, if you're up for it, we'll go on a flight and we'll show you Town and River. We'll show you McGregor Isles. We'll show you the other ones. And we'll move our way up and you'll see the exact route up the Intercoastal. And then come back down. Maybe we'll stop in North Cap, go to, what is it, Barnacle Fills?
Barnacle Fills is now called, they changed the name, it's called, and they just opened. I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
Now open because the hurricane smashed them. I forget the name of it. And then right next door, you have Melons. So you have Barnacle Fills, you have Melons here, which is really fun. They have a pool. So
it's this kind of stuff. So this is a big part of what we call the how, and your uniqueness is that you can provide them what that life experience can be without the financial commitment and then hoops that they might have, or be. I think we made a mistake. We didn't do enough research. We didn't actually get out on a boat before we did this. Because it's great. The first time you're out on a boat, I know this because this is my life. When I moved down, I'm like, I'm boating. But how long does it take to get to Sanibel? This is before. When I moved down here, it was before they put in the manatee zones.
Slow zones. You could go fast the whole way. It was awesome.
I was like out there in 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever.
Not even
after that, it was an hour. And I'm just like, put. And that was the worst because it was like, that's what it used to be. Now you got to slow it down. And then I was going a little too fast and
you got pulled over.
They come out. They're like, listen, you're producing too much wake. I'm like, was it the speed? And they're like,
no,
down, buddy.
Slow down,
They gave me a warning.
And
I was like, all right, I get it. So we need to make that part of the journey,
100%.
Beers or whatever. Just an adventure as we enjoy nature instead of get their itis. We're going to enjoy the moment.
You got to enjoy it, man. It's beautiful going down the river. And you're in the slow zone. You see, yesterday, I'm in a slow zone, basically, and these dolphins are jumping behind the boat. So I got up on plane, and they're jumping, and the videographer, my buddy, he's like, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
I got they're my pets.
Magic.
Yeah, that's magic, man. He was dying. He goes, "Do you do that like every time?" I said, "If they feel like it, they will. 9 times out of 10, they will. If they're tired, then they won't." But
well, as we wrap up, here's the thing. I want to make sure people know this episode really set the tone for the why we do it, what our beliefs and values are. And you're so strong in them and so beautifully able to articulate them, how we do what we do, what's unique about us. And people should be feeling by now, or what, hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, they should be feeling the complete uniqueness of all these dimensions you're looking out for them. They don't even realize. Most of them don't even realize. And then the what we do. And we're real clear on that as well. So if they want to get a hold of you through the websites, do they call? What's the next step for somebody if they're like, I got to get a hold of Shane? What's the easiest
Call
path?
me, text me. I live, eat, and breathe on my phone. And a lot of people say, oh, what a pain in the butt. That's all I know for 30-something years.
Okay.
My phone lives with me. I'd say call me, 239-851-3861, or text me. If I'm in a meeting, like in a meeting now, I'm sure I probably have 30 texts over there. I'll get to them as soon as I can, but I'm with you right now. Like
Present.
I'm present.
Yeah.
When I'm with customer showing property, listing appointment, I'm present with that person.
Yeah.
They don't want you, hold on. That's just rude. But call me, text me. I will get back to you.
Yeah.
And that's so funny. When I get calls on properties up here, like, you answered your phone. I'm like,
I know.
Yeah.
It's a superpower today.
Yes. And the funny thing is in the Keys, it's even worse. They are so taken back when I answer the phone in the Keys on one of my listings. Like, you answered your phone. I'm like, yeah. Well, we've called so-and-so and so-and-so. They never answered.
Yeah.
We even texted them. They didn't text back. I'm like, well, this is what I do. I like helping people. What are you looking for? We're looking for, whatever. I'm like, okay. If I'm with somebody, I might hit that button where if they're calling, it goes, call you back. It's just like an auto button.
Oh, yeah.
And when I'm done with that person in the moment, then I'll text them back, hey, I'm done with my client. Let me give you a call, and I'll call them. Yeah. Called back.
Yeah.
Nobody calls us back.
That's the magic.
It's a big deal.
That's what part of the how. It's part of the magical how. And it seems so common sense because that's where you and I come from, probably. That idea of calling people when they call. But it is not the norm. And that's an immediate thing. And then when you add energy, knowledge, wisdom, skill to it. So we have that aspect. So if they email you, what's the email that they use?
The best one would be Shane at ShaneWaterfrontWilson.com.
Okay. Shane Waterfront.
Shane at ShaneWaterfrontWilson.com.
Okay. And then the 2 websites for the Fort Myers market?
Fort Myers market is ShaneWaterfrontWilson.com. The one in the Keys is ShaneWaterfrontWilsonTeam.com.
Yeah.
2 different websites, 2 different markets, 2 different MLSs. But growing up in the Keys and being here 33 years, it's Florida living, man. And it's not, like Grandpa said, you'll never work a day in your life if you do what you love, something along those lines.
Yep.
It's a blast, man. I mean, boat, who gets to take customers on the boat and have fun and go fishing and diving and snorkeling?
Yeah.
And so many of our friends today are because of the real estate market.
Yeah.
We met them. I mean, I love what I do. It's fun.
So the lay of the land is this particular episode we filmed in the studio to capture all this depth and magic. We're going to do future episodes. We're going to do them out in the field.
Oh, heck
people are going to feel it. They're going to be talking it through. We're going to be walking around. We're going to be showing it, living it, feeling it. And 100%. I just want to share with you, it is an absolute honor knowing you, being on the journey with you, being through the ebbs and flows of life with you.
Thank you.
And we've 25 years rocking it out. And
we've been through a lot.
Being part of this and helping you with this next tier.
Thank you.
Of AI integration and how we're going to leverage what I call artificial intelligence optimization as opposed to the traditional search engine optimization. Right. So we're on that path. Thank you so much. Any final words before we wrap up?
That's it, man. I appreciate you. You're awesome. You are like so smart, man. You have these amazing ideas, ideas, and you're genuine and you care about your people and you've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people and you dig what you do. Yeah. So like we're the same. You and I have both been through the ups. We've been through the way down. It was bad, but we got through it, man. We got through it. And the thing is, like you said, always have that focus.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what's out here. Have that focus. You can't see it. It's there though. And you and I both did it through those horrible times we went through. And I remember like it was yesterday, but now everything's great, man.
Yeah. I mean, full presence, full engagement, full joy. It is an honor.
Thank you.
For the people listening and watching to be here with you, to really get this magic captured. There's so much we're going to be able to unpack from this. If anybody's interested in how we're going to unpack that, feel free to reach out to me. We'll be happy to break down behind the scenes of how this stuff will flow out We're looking at least 3 different potential checklist ebooks for the things you need to think about from the Southwest Florida market through the Keys market and then through boating and flying, that stuff. Right. We'll see exactly what's able to come out of it as we look through the transcript.
Thank you so much. You'll make it happen. You know how to do that. That's what you do. I sell real estate. That's what you should do. I'm excited.
Just capture the magic. It's like I can't teach people how to be. No. I can teach you what to do.
Correct.
And you are this pulsing, energetic, amazing, vibrant, charged man who has so much wisdom, knowledge, and skill to share. Cross spectrum. How to treat your family, how to treat your clients, how to treat, nature, how to take care of your boat, how to take care of your plane, how to take care of what you own.
Yeah.
Just so much stuff. And it's just an honor being on a journey with it. So till next time, we're going to send you tons of positive love and energy. Thank you for listening and watching, and have a great one.
Thank you.
Take care.
Right on. Good job, man. Right on. That's awesome, dude.
How'd you feel about that?
Dude, that was amazing. I didn't